I mean, yeah, it just says waiting for me when I click on YouTube. But from my end, we've been live for at least 10
Yeah,
seconds.
upcoming. Yeah. You're live now.
So is that? Can you listen to it from your end and see what's the like? Does it look like it's? I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to tell because I'm not speaking about a hand now.
Hang on, here we go.
Let me press
So is that
play
you
and
listen to
say,
and see what?
he's got king four. He's gonna win with 5-6. She's gonna fold king nine. Pause. Just so I can see how far out the audio is.
Yeah. He's got king four. He's gonna win with 5-6. She's gonna fold king nine. No, let's start down the video, but our audio's with it now.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's just carry on until inevitably someone tells us it's gone to shit again. All right. So yeah, king nine is actually a hand that if you min raise, she should peel, whether or not she does or not. So I'm all for doing this. Let's go after it a bit. People overfold. I just think this is not quite the hand I would use because of Lewis's stack. Like if Lewis had 8 bigs and maybe it was 5-6 suited, maybe even like a king six off when I'm just like I've got a blocker, they overfold. That might push me over the line a little bit. But this so if you run into it here, this is just like tournament devastating.
Yeah, completely get that. Completely get that. It was more a spot thing, and yeah, I think I haven't played a hand in so long. It was more like they're going to overfold even more. But no, I get it.
Yeah, Lewis. I mean, it'd be good if Lewis had a closer spot like ace two off or jack nine suited a hand like this. It'd be interesting to see like how much he was calling.
I generally think he's folding ace two there.
Because he only had 3.2 bigs was it behind.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it could be that your jam's printing. But yeah, I'd be jamming wider than usual there myself. I think I'd definitely jam like king two suited and like a few hands which maybe would go into a min raise fold. I might just jam instead.
Yeah.
Is she gonna open jam
Let's say
or
such
min
an unusual
raise?
dynamic, right? Such an unusual dynamic. Just so many people have
Open
not been
fold.
in. Yeah. There you go.
That's madness. See, this in my eyes is it's more of an open than the pocket freeze, which he was happy to open jam for a similar amount of big blinds. This is
Yeah.
to me a more powerful hand because you interact with their hands. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were saying it's such a unique dynamic.
Yeah, I'm saying this and that fold right there completely shows that, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think you could open jam it, raise, and then call all in is tough, but maybe what the robot would do in this dynamic, maybe raise fold. Open jam is like, you can't really go wrong with that. Pick up 4 million, that's a big pickup. So I think you could open the ace eight here if you wanted to push out a little bit. This is the sort of hand that like it's a better open than like pocket sixes.
Yeah.
Like you say, this guy's really shallow. She's playing really tight.
Yeah. Especially the dynamic you're talking about, like there's just no one putting pressure on them when they should be. So, yeah, I see your argument.
He's made a sick comeback. If he's ended up with like what three bigs here, and he gets the deal.
Yeah.
I don't like the min raise because he's given the big blind a better price. So there's a world where now the big blind calls pre and just gets to cherry pick the flops and get away. Like if the flop comes ace 3-4, he can just check fold the flop right, and you don't win as much. I get that if you're on a pay jump, he wants to, even though they should do like a soft hand for hand, so you can't exploit that. I get that he wants to, let someone bust on the other table before he's at risk, especially if there's no time banks. but I think he should make it three bigs because the giving your opponent a worse price here is so important. Like, especially with ace two off, right? It's not like he's got aces and he's like, come on, come in
Yeah.
with a wider range. Like like imagine if the big blind here's got uh, Jack three offsuit. That's a hand where maybe he now is like, it's one big blind I can call, but if you put in the three bigs, he might fold. And I think there's quite a few hands like that. Like suited hands, they probably play anyway, but there's a few like offsuit, like 7-3 offsuit. 10-7's probably gonna put it in either way, but if you put in the three bigs, maybe he even finds a hero fold sometimes. I think
Yeah.
he has to peel. So this makes no sense. No offense to Dale, but you don't you don't raise when you got no fold equity and it's not for value. You just call because, like I said, what if the flop comes king? I don't know, king two, and then he goes all in. You're getting the wrong price and you can fold.
Yeah. He's obviously he's decided. Oh, he's so sure. I'm committed if I'm calling, so I'll just do it in now. But yeah, he's as you said, he can easily get away from. Well, he can get away from some very certain textures, can't he?
Yeah, or like something even cooler might happen. Imagine if the flop comes 8-9, um, 8-9-5, all hearts, and you go all in. You put him all in for just over a big blind, and then he folds his ace two.
Yeah.
So you've got that smidge of fold equity because you're making if you call the pot, and again that's why I think Lewis should have made it bigger pre. If you call the flop, the pot is going to be the usual like 5.5 bigs. He's playing just over a big behind. Especially in ICM, that one big blind he's left himself is got a lot of value because he can fold and get a pay jump, or he can still win the whole ante on another hand. So which is definitely his hand. I don't like doing that. Like king queen suited in Lewis's spot, you know, it's a bit greedy. Maybe keep them in with a few more hands, and like you never fold him really any flop with king queen suited. But saying that, like if it comes 2-3-4 all spades and you've got king queen of hearts, it's still hard to put that last big blind in. So I think that there's the few
Yeah.
exceptions where you don't want to be in that spot as Lewis, where you're like, what do I put in the extra big blind or not? Like it's just a horrible spot to figure out. I mean, Dale's just avoiding the spot by putting it in now, but at least it's less detrimental when it's not for your tournament life. You can just kind of figure out your parts, like when he's seeing the flop, like is my 10-7 gonna have the right price? Probably will on most
Yeah.
flops. So this is exactly the sort of board. Like if you call, I know
Exactly.
like 10,
Example he's on about. Yeah.
10-7
Yeah.
isn't. You probably wouldn't donk jam with 10-7 here, but imagine the flop goes check check, and then you just like jam the turn, and he's just there with his ace two, like absolutely without a prayer. Yeah, like if this is the turn, and maybe it checks through again, and then you just put him all in on the river, and then he folds his ace two. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe he puts it in on
Absolutely.
the flop.
It's like set up exactly as you said. It's almost like you knew what was coming.
Yeah, it's weird that it came hearts as well. I mean, he might have just put the ace two in on the flop, but that's so much easier said than done when you're just so dead against the pair. Or, I mean, like this guy would check with he's made a flush. Like if you don't jam the flop, you probably don't have a flush. But even just against the queen, like if he just has like queen five, your ace two, you've got three outs twice.
Yeah.
So I think navigating the really short stacks is hard if you haven't kind of done it before. You haven't necessarily thought much about it. How's the stream doing? Are we are we not glitching out?
Seems right.
So I suspect we're going to see a lot more hands like that, where it's like people playing the
It's a
short
fun one.
stacks and the micro
Yeah, it's a
stacks.
fun one.
So big stack opening the button, although he is opening into this guy who does have a big stack too, but he's probably just opening pretty late, at least 60% of hands if I had to guess. 9-8's a tricky one. I think I'd probably peel, but folding is not crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
As much as you want a ladder and the ladders are big, you do want to have a chance at running it up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if
So like
anything, but
to me, it's like
check
a
bet
standard one
fold.
DB continuation bet for him.
Yeah, so I don't know why he's again. This is the power you have as the chip leader. It's so hard for you to check raise as a bluff here. If this is day one of the tournament, you might check raise with 6-7 suited, or like some random backdoor hand, maybe, or like I mean, the King 5-5 is a hard one to even find the bluff raises, but some sort of backdoor hand, maybe the occasional hand there might be like a Queen 2 of diamonds type of hand in there sometimes, like some random check, or like check raising with a king is probably easier to do. I mean, you might do that anyway here, but it's a little bit more awkward. You don't have as many 5x because we already said 9-8 was close pre. Like you're not going to defend like 9-5 offsuit here like you would in chips. So you just bet one big blind. You pretty much win most of the time,
Yeah.
and you don't worry about being check raised bluffed much because it's so hard for you to do that. And I guess sevens is like a medium strength hand where we know if we get called, we're running into better hands a lot. But it's one big blind to win so many. And you can technically still have the best hand sometimes. Like you might have Queen 10 of spades or something, like the occasional hand which is worse. You should probably have gone all in with most of your pocket pairs pre. So like I get that facing a call's awkward. Maybe you could have some ace highs if you didn't jam them pre as well to check call the flop. But it's just like the lesser of two evils. And like your hand is a prime example of like he would have folded out, similar to the ace queen jack hand we saw before. This is actually the same player making to me the same mistake. Not
Yeah.
necessarily protecting his hand. And it doesn't matter, like he's got a super wide range, but it's just the board that says you get to bet everything in spite of it all. You
Yeah.
just you
And
just don't get to
when
do
he
anything.
didn't, I'm like, yeah. And when he didn't, it's just like I'm gonna put him to the test, and I'd seen him check back so many boards and show so many hands where he hadn't protected, and then when folded to pressure later on. So it was such an interesting spot. The moment he checked back that board, I'm like, okay, this is a really good spot for me to size up to last river.
So this is interesting to me because if I hadn't seen this player before, I mean, to be fair, the jacks was almost like a trap, but he didn't super snap the river, so he was still like in a bit of like he felt like his hand wasn't that strong. But here, I'm terrified if someone checks back this board because I'm like, how do they not bet one big blind with everything? Like maybe they've got kings four, maybe they've got aces, maybe they've got a five. Like
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But not him. I completely agree. Completely agree what you're saying. But it was a player thing. So yeah, I completely agree.
So you bet really small here. How did you come up with the bet size? Did you say I'm going to bet small to kind of keep him in and then always bluff the
I
river?
wanted to have one SPR for the river. That's what I was looking to do.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I will say I at least the theory way I'd think about this spot is you only really want to bet with a king, and maybe even only like a king with a decent kicker, like say king 8 or king 9, which you kind of mirror a bit. These hands you want to bet and jam the river, but generally it's going to be the geometric size, I think. Do you know what that means?
So we're looking at what were we out there? What I've bet into? I've bet
You bet 2 into 8.8. You've bet like just under quarter pot, and you've set up like pot on the river.
Yeah. So
So
you're looking at maybe leading like half pot, a bit more.
so if you bet half, if you bet 4.4, pot 16. Yeah, something like maybe like 4.4 to 5 million to set up like a similar stats pot on the river. But I do get why you didn't do that here. If you're just like you want more fold equity for the river, you want to kind of string him along.
Is that? Yeah.
So as much as like I think that's the framework that I would look to make the decision from. It's nice you got a spade as well, cleaner to bluff spade rivers. But like what do you think he has here? Do you bet really small so he calls with ace high, so you feel like you get more folds? Are you thinking he has a hand like a pocket pair? Oh, that's that's like the worst river in the deck. That is
So
that is man.
he'd said he'd seen the, I think at this point he'd seen the 6-5 jam and he'd made a comment, and he'd said what did he say? He'd said something like
You got a five again.
you won't get away with that again. And so in my mind I'm like he's going to have me on 0 bluffs here. Like 0 bluffs after that comment. So it's so hard to bluff this ace river, right? It's so hard. Like you said, he's ace highs and that. But it was a case that I've set this up. I've got 5s in my range. I've got kings are going to play this way, and he is going to be super challenged to call off with anything middle strength. So it was like, oh god, ace, not the best river, but my story is still going to feel right if I barrel this river because of what he said and the dynamic between us two. So it was a really interesting spot. But yeah, I was thinking he had something along the lines of like this. I even thought he might have like just complete air, but I thought if it's like a middle pair or something around those lines that I just, from what I'd seen, any ace he had, he was continuation betting flop. So when he wasn't continuation betting flop, he was often showing up with middle strength hands. So it was in my head, against most people, this is a hell river, but actually from the way he's played and the way he's played this hand, this actually isn't as bad as it looks. So again, very situational. Final 2 tables, 11. He's made a comment about me. I feel like I'm never bluffing in this spot. It makes it so hard for him to call. So that was what was going through my mind in that situation, but very player dependent. Normally this situation is horrible, right? This river.
I will say before I say how what I would do in the spot, and like yeah, the player read's important and the dynamic's important. I will say it's commendable that you're able to do this. You know, playing for so much money. 11 left. Arguably, like the chance of a lifetime in a tournament like this, especially like you could play this for your whole life and never get this far. And assuming that you're going to go all in, in fact, let's get to there first. Yeah, you're very, very, very stoic. Like I can't see anything about you that makes me think, nervous to do a big bluff, um, which is rare. A lot of people give quite a lot away in these spots. Um, like it is very commendable to be able to do this. Seems like we saw. Well, look what happened to the other guy that did this for a start. The ace queen guy. Like it was commendable, but he's out. Like he came 16th or 15th, whatever. So it's in a tournament like this. Like this would be a completely different. Imagine how your life would be now if he just had ace jack, or if he was trapping the flop, or if he just Kira called you with sevens, or like there's so many ways this hand could have gone where it's the worst case scenario now, and you'd be thinking, man, like I was in such a soft tournament, I still had 7.5 bigs, I could have like ran it up, could have done this, whatever. So I don't want to be too much like let's write because we're living in the dream world where everything went perfect, well, like nearly as good as it could have in this tournament afterwards. So I don't want it to be this was like the pivotal decision and like it was the right thing for the right reasons, etc. Because I can give you examples where I've done this spot and it's gone well, and examples where I've done this and it's gone badly. And this is like the most interesting part of poker to me, because it's when you're way out there in the weeds. So someone in the comments has said it feels ambitious. When you're being very ambitious, let's say, like that's when the most memorable hands happen. Because in this case it went well for you. He had a hand which is hard to call with, and he didn't call. Although I don't know, I haven't seen how he's going to tank and think about it. If he folds quickly, I think it's a bit different. But yeah, the story on the turn is we have a king or a 5. The story on the river is we've got a 5 or 3-4. This is a really, really hard sell because but it's circular because the heart of the sell is, like you say, with the comment he made. Why would you try and take the spot as a bluff? It's easy for him to have an ace. Like, why would you do it? And I guess maybe you could jam with an ace. If you have ace 3 or ace 4, maybe you could, if you didn't go all in pre, which you might not, you could then be like, well, I'm chopping if you've got an ace anyway. That's kind of a merge jam, which I think is kind of a cool aspect to this as well, I guess. You can't jam with a king anymore. Maybe a king could do like a block bet, but probably mainly wants to check. And If you do have a five,
It's really interesting.
I could see why you
On
jam.
the commentary, sorry, go on, Brandon. Go on.
Oh no, go ahead.
On the commentary, they say I could jam a king on the river here. So I thought that was interesting because I think
No,
that's a hard jam.
I mean, I really don't. But we're in Fantasyland when he doesn't bet the flop. So if he constructs his flop check range with hands like this primarily, like, but how does he not have ace queen and ace jack as well? Like they're kind of similar. They're like middle in strength hands, aren't they? Where it's like if you bet, you mainly get called by better. You could check down and win. Like I feel like that's where his head's at. Whether or not he has traps with that as well, I don't know. Uh, but I guess part of the problem with your hand now is you block you block pocket nines and pocket eights. These are hands we want him to have. You also block like queen nine of spades, jack nine of spades. These are hands that maybe we want him to have. So in that sense, like there's reasons to take away from it. But ultimately, he's either going to fold or he's not. Like, and in this case, I'm guessing he did. If he goes for a really long tank fold with sevens, I'm still a lot more like, this is really dicey here. Maybe we just got lucky. He happens to have folded and had bottom of his range. If he snap folds, I am more like, you maybe you had a sense that he was weaker when he checked the flop. Maybe all this other stuff was right. But it is easy to always feel like that more so in hindsight too. Like I feel like your narrative of this hand would be very different if he just happened to have something else. And it's easy to just, in
Yeah.
hindsight, like I knew he was going to fold. I knew he was weaker part of his range. I knew he didn't have an ace, or I knew if he had this, he was going to fold. And it's very easy to do that in poker. And, like everyone falls victim of that. Like I'll tell you firsthand, like like someone they did something on the river, and then I'm like, man, it feels like he's bluffing. I call, and I'm like, it's because he did that thing. When like hypothetically, like it's like maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Like I can't prove it wasn't,
Yeah.
but there's some chance that it was. Um, so I think you just when you're in this area, you just need to be a lot more sure of yourself because it's the most devastating it will feel if it goes wrong. Like if you just got snap called here or tank called by better here, you won't forget it, and then it's almost gonna rewrite how you feel in these situations too, which is like, did I need to do that? Why did I decide to do that? Like because you're basically deciding to bluff with any hand, is the way I'm looking at this. Like if you're bluffing with 9-8, you're literally bluffing with every hand you've got unless you've got a pair. Like if you river a two, I guess that's almost the same hand right at this point. Maybe even bluff if you've got 4-2 suited or I guess no, sorry, that's already a pair on the turn. I guess if you've got like 6-4, 6-3 isn't necessarily relevant because you're bluffing with no equity anyway. Like maybe you don't bluff with queen high, maybe you don't bluff with queen jack because you think you might have some showdown, but it's almost like the whole deck that you're bluffing with. So you need him to fold almost every time because you'll defend the big blind, get to the turn facing a check range is so wide. Like if I got this up on a solver, you would literally see way more than say 60% of hands, and most of them is not five. Like there's only a few combos of maybe you have 5-6 and 5-4 offsuit. The rest of them are suited hands, which is like two combos of each. And then every time you've got a suited five, you've got four combos of a suited six and a suited seven and a suited eight. All the hands that are just complete nothing. So it's just it's a dangerous place to be where you are in this hand, where it really needs to go right almost every time. And I think you can say for yourself in a tournament like this, you don't need to be in a spot where it needs to go right almost every time.
Yeah, I get that. I do get what you're saying.
He folded relatively quickly. I mean, he was like he knows he can probably have an ace there as well, and maybe has some traps. So he probably he probably could have thought about it a bit more. Like, what are you really repping? But it's still harder to call because like even if you're only repping a five, maybe you've always got a five. There's always that danger as well for him. So yeah, as much as I think it's a great bluff because it worked, but it's very dicey. It's very dicey. Like I might have bet the turn. I probably would have bet bigger if I was going to bet because I want to get turn folds, and then I wouldn't have bluffed that river.
Yeah.
King Jack should be folding to the raise, but it doesn't. Ace two suited. It looks like he folded pretty quick. Ace eight suited just folded on the button. So that's. I think ace two suited is probably a good Oh, she's just open 2.5x as well. So yeah, definitely fold. Ace eight suited could at least consider calling on the button. Didn't see how deep they were. 4-3 suited. Maybe flick it in a peel here if Hitman's range is wide.
I was wondering what you do there. Yeah, it's weird off his stack size, right?
Yeah, there's such heavy ICM. Like it's so much of his stack, but you know, you've got a bit of fold equity. You have the flop, you flop like the low open ender, and they both have big cards and miss. But I guess he thinks Rima's range is really tight, so definitely don't blame him
Yeah.
for folding there. And good fold this time. Should just snap jam the flop.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd say just take your time a bit. Uh, it's a very big all in. 23 into like she's like 2 times pot jam the flop. I mean, this guy's range is wide. I think she's just like, I don't want to play any more streets. I'm happy with the pot. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's good to make decisions. You can check jam. You might win more if he stabs with a bluff. Um, I can see why he has scored. Although against her, you might be running like if she's got king jack, she's probably got ace jack, queens, kings, and aces as well.
Yeah.
She might even have like sevens, tens, jack ten. But maybe she's got queen jack, but she probably doesn't have jack nine suited, so it's probably a fold with the king jack to be honest. But
Yeah, I'm folding there, I think. King jack.
he's free rolling this time. But yeah, I would have folded pre obviously, but if you call in this hand pre, it probably can't fold the flop with that approach. Yeah, I mean, all the short stacks are looking at this going, how on earth is this all the money just flowing in here? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's pretty pretty wild. Yeah, I'm not saying she should get away from the king jack, but I think yeah, check jam or bet and then maybe jam turn or like, I think you're just a little bit too deep. If you go like just over pot behind, then I think jam's probably fine.
Yeah.
Well, if he's calling with king jack, he's definitely going to raise with it. Ace four, pretty trivial fold. You could go for a free bet sometimes, especially if he's open and loose, but he seems like the guy that also doesn't fold to free bets.
No, it doesn't know it, mate. You're going to see some wild four betting from him and a bit
I
of an
know
ICM disaster from him on the final table, which is we'll get
this
to.
is this is madness. She's folded ace ten off on the button, but she's peeling with four free off, which I think I would fold this.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just it's just surprising the way that like so, like the pocket freeze jam that was like kind of close to loose. The ace ten was very tight, and then this was very loose again. So it's hard to have someone peg sometimes. Like sure, she's very tight in some spots, but she's definitely too loose in some other spots. Which is the spirit of the Goliath, really. Like people are so unpredictable. Same with him with his jacks. He was like almost playing too careful, but then playing too loose in another spot. Looks like you're just super
Absolutely.
card dead. Oh, king two suited. I
Yeah. Super
think
card there for a while.
you've got to jam that king two suited on the button. I think he's got five
Yeah.
5.5 bigs, and Rima's playing at least tight versus all ins. Even if this guy calls loose, you just get it in good a lot. And I think you're not on a pay jump now because 10th and 11th get the same. I think
Yeah.
you've got to take that, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm shoving the king two suited there.
You've got a little bit of fold equity. Like queen four, if he gives you a spin, you don't mind. That's you kind of king two suited. Like at the point where he's calling wider, it's worse hands. It's not like I wouldn't jam 5-6 suited there for the reason we spoke about earlier. I'd like to see a min raise from the ace 10. I think it's too many chips to go. Although because Lewis is so short, I think going all in here is actually okay because this guy peels a lot,
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying. He's only got 5 bigs, so it's almost like you're closer to the cutoff really than the hijack. Rima's going to overfold. Like, yeah, I think all in's actually pretty reasonable here. As much in like a different setup, I would min raise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
I
would
would.
normally min raise in this spot off that blinds, but in this setup, yeah, I felt like that was going to be a much more profitable move than min raising.
Yeah, I'm on board. They're waiting to see if someone busted at the other table.
Yeah, there was all
Oh,
ends on the other side.
I guess we must get there. What? No way. No. How have you got away with that? How have you got away with that? He's got ace jack suited. That is mad. That is madness.
See, I'm gonna say from if you're in his seat, right? That's half his stack when you got this massive ICM situation, and I'm shoving from under the gun. Are you snapping off there?
I mean, you're the hijack when the cutoff's got 5 bigs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You think that's as easy a call in that situation? Ace Jack suited. I'm
To,
not. I'm
to be
unsure
fair,
about that one.
I don't think it's an easy call, but I think
Yeah.
one, like, I think people, the more you try and hold on to the stack and the spot you're in, the more you're missing spots. Is one way I see it. Like, you can't lock up as the chip leader. If anything, that's where you need to like make more moves. I get that, like, we call and lose this hand, we're back in the pack and it's not great, but what about the upside of call and win? Where we're table chip lead, we've got
Yep.
position on this really loose guy, and everyone else on the right's playing tight. Like, more compound interest is going to happen that way too. I will say it depends on his read of you, and yeah, if you've got, I mean, you jammed 5-6 off, and you said he saw that. I mean, that plays into this a lot. You're willing to take jams which are actually looser, but also like if you've got tens. I mean, or like the main hands that matter when you've got ace jack suited are ace queen, ace king, jacks, queens, kings, and aces. I'm very confident that if you had queens, kings, aces, and ace king suited, you would min raise. As for how you'd play jacks, ace king off, ace queen suited, ace queen off, I think a lot of them would min raise as well. And the more of those hands that crush you that you can take away, suddenly you're just left with ace 10 offsuit, king jack suited, king queen offsuit, king 10 suited, queen jack suited, pairs, which I guess you're flipping against, which isn't necessarily amazing. Um, Maybe king jack offsuit, maybe that one seems like kind of close.
I would normally completely. I would normally say that's absolutely correct. However, from what we've seen, people weren't min raising your ace kings and ace queens, and that they were just shipping them for 15, 16. So it's a weird one. Yeah, I see. I'm going to be really honest. I think listening to your breakdown, I would probably fold with that ace jack because of the dynamic and how sack. But listening to your breakdown is really interesting because, as you say, it's really hard to not see things in that little vacuum when you're in this once in a lifetime moment, right? And it's it is challenging to have that thought process of, okay, I'm not knitting up too much here. I'm not. So I think that's a really hard call, but it's really interesting hearing you break it down. Actually, would I be moon raising my ace king? I'm going to be really honest. I reckon I'd probably just shove it there in that spot with what was up top.
That can make a big difference because just think in terms of combos. You've got ace jack suited. Normally there's 12 combos of ace queen off, 12 combos of ace king off. You've got an ace, so there's only what 9 combos of each. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
nine combos of each. That's still 18 combos that have you crushed in that case, which is quite a lot when you're putting in another 14 blinds. So I think that makes the biggest difference. If you look at them and think, they definitely jam ace queen and ace king off, and they maybe jam pocket jack sometimes, like that is going to hurt you a lot with the ace jack suited here. But do you not think you would jam ace 5 suited, ace 8 suited, maybe ace 9 off, ace 9 suited, definitely like king jack suited, queen jack suited, jack 10 suited, maybe king jack offsuit. Like there's always like a trade-off, right? Like, I think there's more hands you're ahead of for sure, but obviously a lot of them are going to be a lot of hands are kind of flips, and there's the occasional hand you're dominated by. Like it is a lot closer than it looks like, given that you've got ace 10. But
yeah,
like initially, I was thinking, you probably find a min raise with the ace king, but I think that can be the difference of whether you call it. If you know for a fact they jam ace queen and ace king off, and they don't always jam, let's say, ace 5 suited, king jack offsuit, jack 10 suited, like the sort of hands that you play well against, then yeah, I think this could well be a fold. And yeah, if it wasn't for your 5-6 off before, I think I would be more in agreement. Like who knows what you're jamming with there. I think that's the main thing that gets me over the line here. Like if you're jamming 5-6 off in that spot, you could literally you might have like jack 8 suited here, at least in this guy's eyes. But like ace five offsuit, why not? Like you just want to take a spot sometimes.
Yeah, it's a really interesting spot actually. Really interesting one to like think over.
I think yeah, ace eight off and ace nine off. That's a lot of combos too, and you could easily be like, I've only got to get through three players, and one player's got half my stack. Like three people cover me. Reema's playing really tight. The two chip leaders want to hold their position, so they're going to overfold. This guy's got five bigs. I think it's easy to convince yourself to jam kind of loose there. This time I'd like to see him min raise. This hand plays a lot better. You've got too many chips now. There we getting it for her. Yep. So yeah, that's a lot of the ways you're going to make chips is just that raise and take,
Yeah.
or c bet win, the occasional check raise, like little jabs. Your position on the free chip leaders, so you see it's actually pretty reasonable. Like, I can't remember how many chips this guy's got now, but these guys all seem like the bigger stacks.
Still like quite a way to go as well because Lewis got moved to the outside table and hung around for ages on there as well.
Let's see if I can skip through a bit.
I think if you get down to like 10, and then that went fairly. I think 10 didn't last too long.
What do you think of this spot? Ace nine off, button versus cut off, but the cut off's this hitman, really loose guy.
I'd be three betting there against him.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable candidate to free bet, but one problem is having a nine. Usually blocks bluffs like Jack nine off, King nine
Yeah.
off. So you might want like ace two suited or ace five off, or like King five suited more so in theory. But if he's opening too wide, like the intricacies of that won't necessarily matter. But it will matter how much he calls. The more he calls pre, the more you just want to be more linear. Have like King Queen suited or ace ten suited instead of ace nine off, or maybe free bet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a spot to free bet bigger. Make it like 3.5x, assuming that you don't commit to the stacks afterwards, because you really want the fold equity. Yeah, I think there's, or go hyper small and it's just like I'm getting value because he's going to call me with worse. I guess that kind of works too. But I think to me that the point in a free bet should always be fold equity, and this doesn't
Yeah.
really have any fold equity. Like this guy called King Jack off, that's 2.5x open. He's not folding any hand to this free bet size, in my opinion. Yeah, if you just want to get more value if you got a good hand. Oh my goodness, what has happened there? What has happened there?
Hitman. He was wild.
I mean, what does he do versus an all in now? Does he have to call? I think he has to call. He put half his stack in, so he's just like, yeah, we're running it. Which fair enough. He's willing to die. Maybe he's just read into the three bet size as small, and he's right. So I mean, I can't argue with it when he's right. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not free bet bigger if you had a good hand? No, you just got to fold.
Sunglasses off as well. We're down to 10 now.
Yeah, ace jack for the min. Yeah, she folded ace ten off on the button, but now open king queen off.
Big raise as well. I'm not 2.6.
So I think that's the hardest thing is trying to predict someone who is say like inconsistent in their strategies. Like
Yeah.
you can't peg them down to they kind of play this way because they play differently, just orbit to orbit. Queen seven suited in the small blind, you definitely want to play. Do you want to limp? Do you want to open? Might depend on the stacks. King 9, probably check. Probably goes check, check. Now I guess Queen 7 could try and go for 2 streets. King 9's just going to fold now. Queen 9 should open the button. Oh, that's a nice hand. He found aces in the small blind early, didn't he?
Yeah.
Again, could be a really sneaky spot to flat sometimes. The button's open range is really wide. If you do free bet, maybe just go like 3x. But if he calls, you're going to have some jams. And like playing post, the stats pot ratio is going to be quite low. So ace is actually quite nice. So I think it's actually a reasonable spot to trap sometimes. I'd always free bet kings. I'd always free bet ace king. I mean, you were going to fold anyway. Queen 9's got an easy fold. Yeah, I'd always free bet against Hitman because he's shown a propensity to like just get involved anyway. Like he'll call with an offsuit hand,
Yeah.
he'll call loose, and maybe he'll 4-bet. But like against this guy, I think I might have flat at least sometimes. I guess you're just gonna go all in against Rima. Call.
Just felt like I'd be able to take away so much on a flop that I'd just keep the risk reward down, having me
Yeah,
covered.
I don't mind that. I think opening small against someone who's going to overfold is like a nice
Yeah.
strategy here as well.
Yeah.
But your hand's fine. Like you could limp and then I guess you just fold if she raises. Wow, what a flop. She just bet 3 million. Wow. That 3 million is not as big as I thought, but still, that's like a pretty big bet. I guess we call. Yeah, I like the call. And now, like she's got such a nice hand to just go like bet jam and put it on you.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's gonna check down. Oh, that's brutal. Did you think about bluffing the river?
No, not against. Not. I didn't actually. No, not against her.
I might have, even though obviously we would have ran into it. But I think it's really hard for her to have a 5 when she just 2/3. I think it looks like she's got a jack, maybe sometimes a 4. So I think I would have bluffed the
when she
river,
bets flop, right? I understand that. Yeah, but think about it. When she bets flop and then goes check turn, actually, I can see the merit there big time.
We block a free, like, and I wouldn't expect the 2/3 bet from a free very often. So I'm feeling like she's going to have like King 4, Jack 7, Jack 8, those type of hands, and I think we pressure them a lot on this sort of run out. Like she's just gonna, I think she'll just fold with a Jack if we bet even like 4 to 6 million here, and yeah, I would have definitely put my foot in it. Yeah, good fold on the river. Some people level themselves there because you're like, how the hell have you got a straight? And what else are you betting?
Yeah.
Think long, think wrong sometimes. Blinds have gone up. Perfect time for you to find ace queen. I think.
Really weird. When he 4-bet me here, I thought I was dead.
Yeah, he's maybe saved you because I mean the pairs probably fold, but they're probably supposed to call. And this going back to the ace jack suited fold. This is kind of why. Like now, look, the blinds are up to like the chip leaders have only got close to 20 to 25 bigs. Like not that much time has passed. Not that many hands have happened. Like if you don't find the spot, sometimes it's just you raise fold. Suddenly you're the short stack. You free rolling.
Yeah, I know.
Still, that's a big result. Just chopping that money.
Massively,
I
massive
think
result. Yeah.
4s was close to whether it should have opened, and 5s probably should have folded to the open as well. Or jammed, jam 5s versus an open if he's opening loose. But I think I would fold. Oh, we're going to get the answer to the question. Well, you've got less chips this time. And I guess last time you were hijacked, but the cutoff was short. So if you min raise this, I'm gonna die on that hill of like ace jack suited's got a call. But this is definitely more of a jam. I might jam this one. 13 bigs. But like if you had 30 million here, maybe you'd min raise, maybe.
Yeah, slightly more. Agreed.
I love that he tanked with Jack 9
Just so
suited.
much in the middle, like you said. Like there's 5 million in the middle every hand. It's crazy.
Yeah, like King Queen again. Like in this one's a lot easier of a fold because even though like he still dominates some hands, but there's all the ace highs to worry about where he's just got his like 40%. So like ace Jack suited is so much of a better hand. He should definitely call ace Jack suited in this spot. 13 versus cutoff. It's not that much different.
Yeah, 5-hander now. Yeah.
And now it's like way more of now he's got the same stack as you, and all he's done is like not a lot's happened for him to put him in that position. I mean, I guess he free bet too small with the ace nine. Maybe if he free bet bigger, he would have got that through. Maybe the guy would have jammed on him anyway. He's not the guy that fold. He's just did he fold Jack free suited on the button?
Yeah.
So again, like this is actually an open. This is just a hand he should open. But he's playing hands that he shouldn't play, and he's not playing hands he should play. Quote unquote should. King eight suited, I guess you. Oh no, so I've just realised this. I don't remember this guy's stack, so. Yeah, he covered that. Yeah, he should open the Jack free suited. King eight suited going for an open seems okay. Then you have to fold to the all in. If Jack free suited opens the button there, King eight suited. I mean, maybe it could free bet fold, but probably just has to fold. It's fold from Rima with the pocket fives. I think he should probably go for an open. I think he should raise a little bit bigger. Like maybe just 2.5x, something like this. Are you always calling the 10-8 suited? Do you have a goal in?
Yeah, every now and then I would. But with 10 left, I would find that hard.
I mean, you can see the benefit directly by seeing the hand he's got, right? Like when he doesn't put you all in,
Yeah.
people end up in this spot a lot where they end up being really polar. Like he should just go all in with like ace x offsuit and a lot of suited middle in hands. So he kind of ends up being polar to really strong hands, which is king queen suited, ace jack suited, pocket jacks, or a bluff. But his bluffs are often just better hands than you, like queen four offsuit or king six offsuit, jack seven offsuit. So it can actually achieve quite a lot in these spots sometimes. People get scared to call in, but that's why the min raise is so good, or the 2.5x. Yeah, I would probably call 10x suited too for what it's worth, because it's you might crush some hands, your hand plays quite nicely.
Yeah.
But a hand like Solver likes to go all in with stuff like king two offsuit in that spot as the big blind. How are we doing for time? Do you want me to try and go faster or skip
All
ahead a
good.
bit?
No, all good.
He's probably just going to open jam the button. I thought how many chips Rima got? Yeah, I would have just jammed the button there. And this is a good reason why you don't let 9-8 realize its equity. And then you can probably go either way on the flop. Small bet, 40% bet, check back. Mainly probably want to bet small. 9-8 should probably just fold straight away. It's okay to fold a pair. I think she's going to fold, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a king six suited, you could open. Can see why he folded. You don't have much fold equity against this big blind.
No.
Jack seven, I might limp. I think open fold's fine. I mean, he's probably just going to put us all in.
Seems like king jack every hand, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a wild one, mate. This is a wild
Ooh.
one.
So if I had the pocket sixes, I would have just gone all in. You're against like 17 bigs. Uh, and now it's an interesting spot for queens. There's an argument for flat because, I mean, Hitman clearly isn't someone we can, predict how he plays, but you should probably just open jam a lot of like ace highs and king highs. So your queens are actually a lot stronger than maybe they look. Because if he has ace two off and he puts you all in, he doesn't have that. I mean, Hitman might not play like that because of how he does play. I might make a crazy exploit and free bet non all in, even though when I do that, it's like always super nutted. Might make it like 12 million here, thinking I just want to string him along. But I think call is actually a pretty good play. Has he gone for this tiny little free bet? Yeah. So this is what I meant by like you could get a little exploit out of it. I mean sixes. Again, I would have just jammed it. I don't know about what's going on there. Is he just trying to get a page on?
Yes, I think there's something going on in the outer table. They was potentially looking to see if someone, yeah. Make
Yeah, I
quads of
mean
hand, that will do.
it is kind of just a cooler blind v blind in that situation, even though it went in a kind of funky way. Less than 20 bigs when you cover him. So yeah, this is one you could min raise. I wouldn't blame you if you jammed, but I think min raise is very reasonable. So if you did min raise, I mean Hitman probably would have called, but maybe he would have gone all in, and that's a hand that we could have played against that we dominate.
Yeah.
He probably would have peeled knowing him, but if he went all in, that would have been great for us. But I has to fold. Or like the big blind would have defended, we crush him, we're in position. So yeah, I might have gone for a min raise, but I don't definitely think jam's fine. And now does he min raise or does he jam? I can't remember the small blind stack. I think if the small blind's
Small
got less than
blind.
20 bigs, you probably just send it. Nah, min raise. If you go all in there, ace nine is in a world of pain. Probably it's supposed to call, but then is it actually going to be a good call? I don't know. You jam ace two off versus button raise.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is it. That's what I mean about dream spots.
Maybe we just got to go all in. Anything else looks too suspicious. Yep. Nice hand. Too easy. Assuming that we hold, that is. Almost like deserves a bit of a sweat. Ace queen is not supposed to get it in that bad here.
We got the
Feels
chop
bad.
sweat. We got the chop sweat.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. All you've done is like play. I mean, the 5-6 off and the 9-8. I'm not so convinced with, but they worked. But other than that, you've just folded and like played solid hands, and then
Yeah.
your caller came at the right time, and now you're in the mix. I think people will be surprised how often that happens. So I was reading one of the comments. During the study sessions, how would you study without paying big monthly fees for solvers? I use GTO Wizard daily for the free solves and watch Grosvenor live streams. I like watching the 10K GG Masters, like GG Millions, whatever they call it, replay final tables, because that's like some really good players seeing how they play final tables and ICM stuff. Or like Tritons are always good to watch as well. Or at least people that you like, they know better than me. Watch like your Adrian Mateoses and your Alex Foxtons of the world, see what they're doing. They're just trying to understand it. I think it's not saying they do everything perfect or you should play exactly like them, but just seeing how really good players play and think about spots and see how different it is to you is like a nice free resource to study. Or there is some good commentators out there as well. There's a lot of really good free content, which I like GTO Wizard for the node locking stuff, but there's a lot you can gain from not actually investing that much.
final table now, so you're gonna get a little break, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. You're gonna get all the intros and stuff, so you can.
Get past all that.
That's you, I think. You skip past you.
Was me?
Yeah, it was you. That you were. I think your final table was what they put on
Oh, yeah,
as the break.
okay. Don't remind me of that. That break keep getting longer. It was 18, it just went to 21.
Yeah, I think I had to set it all up, put the trophy there, and intro everyone and all that. There you go. There's the intros. Here we go.
Have I missed a hand? This is the first one.
I think you've missed. I think I had Ace Queen first hand or something like that. So you missed a few hands, yeah. So there you go. So no, yeah, this is the first hand.
Right, ace 10, so we're nine-handed now. It's a nice hand to min raise. Your stack looks like, I mean, I didn't quite catch all the stacks. Should try and have a look at that. If they're gonna come up, maybe they're not gonna come up. Might have to wait till after the hand. Yeah, it'd be nice to see where you are in relative position. Like ace 10,
I
you
think
could
I was
fold.
third in chips, Brandon. I think I was third in chips at this point.
Yeah, you could fold. I think I would lean towards a raise. Maybe especially first hand, people don't want to, get too much in the mix. Still getting settled. It's good for morale. Right, so there's your stack. So I mean, it's almost like everyone here is basically in the same pack. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people in like the same, almost like fighting to make it to the top 4. And then you three are almost in the same group too. This guy's got a little bit of leeway. Hitman the short stack now, interesting. Yeah, quite interesting stack distribution. Everyone has to be super, super careful. But, because the stacks are so close, anyone can make a run at it as well. As the short stack can be chip leader in a few hands.
Yeah, it was a really congested field at this point. Really interesting.
Yeah,
Like
definitely
ICM
open this
wise.
one. No, I think I would open the king queen.
Yeah, I was on the fence there. I really, really honest. Yeah, just open the ace 10, like settling in. I think in my mind I was like, right, for the best spot, just let's settle in. I think this is either way. But yeah, I completely see the merit of raising, and I guess it was just like 100 gun +1, just start a big final table, just take the first hand down, let's just settle in.
Yeah, but the irony is like that's how I was saying everyone else is going to think when you open the ace 10 in the first hand. They're going to be like, oh, whatever, I'll just fold this close spot. But
Yeah,
that's evidence that it is true. Like people want to sort of compose themselves, watch a few hands, like not get straight in the mix. Like I say, unless your name is Brian and he's straight in there jamming the ace 3 off from under the gun +2.
yeah, that's the guy that's winning the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this just isn't a theoretical jam. I suspect that he thinks that everyone is massively overfolded, and he's like, I mean, King Queen is a trivial fold here. I don't think there's reason to tank with this one. Maybe just trying to get an accurate stack count. Even though if he's jamming ace 3, like he's going to jam like Queen 9 suited and like loads of hands that you crush, but you got players to act, and there's too many ace X. Even as the big blind, you've got to fold King Queen here. So the ICM pressure is insane. I think this would actually be a fold in chips anyway. Which I think maybe there's something in like the psychology of like wanting to slow him down. Be like, like I'm thinking about calling you here. Maybe think about what you're doing, even though maybe he knows he's folding. I think it's nice to like
Yeah,
have some psychological warfare going on there. Ask him for a count, make him sweat. Because like, what's going on in Brian's head here? Like, is it fuck? Maybe I shouldn't have jammed this spot. I
yeah,
could run into it
pain.
here, or is it like, nah,
Yeah,
screw these guys. I know they're overfolding. This jam's good. Yeah, I think it's too early and too many chips for this hand. If he had ace 3 suited, I would say that's loose, but he's trying to play for the win, isn't he? His team ICM doesn't matter. Like he's just jumped to the basically the front of this pack now. Like I think his
Yeah.
style is very much like I want the chip lead so I can rule this table. He doesn't want to be the guy folding for ladders. Like there's pros and cons to it. Like he's going to make less ladders, so he's going to make less money the times he comes like ninth, eighth, seventh, but he's going to win the tournament more. Does that weigh up in balance? I think it's hard to say. Pocket eights, does he go for a min raise or a jam? What would you do here?
I'll go for what we're looking at off 15. I'm probably jamming it off. Definitely, yeah, I'm probably jamming off that spot in this situation.
It's narrow to 16, but even off 15 bigs here, I wouldn't jam. I think there's just too many people, too much ICM. If you min raise, if someone else shows aggression afterwards, it's very rare that your pocket eights are the best hands, so you can get away. I will say he genuinely looked not sure what to do there as well. I think like
Yeah.
it's not a big mistake to go in with eights here, but the times you run into it, it's devastating. Again, like you had, he's
Oh, I thought he
like
was on the button. Sorry, he's not on the button at all. He's on the gun +3. No, he's not. No,
he's
sorry.
the low jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess min raises the play, isn't it? Off 16, yeah, effectively. But yeah, you could see he was
Fold,
unsure as well.
fold is fine, and he's ran into it, and that should be GG. So if he would have min raised, the small blind would have gone all in. I guess. Let me see what the oh oh dear right there. That's a horrible spot for Lark. I think it's just a fold actually. Like
Yeah,
the all in, you would
I agree.
expect. I mean, eights to me is kind of ropey. Like I would say the all in range there. I wouldn't have an all in range. I would just even with like pocket tens jack. I would just min raise because you get more information. Like if two people go all in, you can get away from even pretty strong hands. But like the all ins should probably be king queen suited, ace queen offsuit, pocket nines, pocket tens, maybe jacks, maybe ace king offsuit, and then the small blind rejam is literally going to be tens plus. Like even nines, I think could fold the small blind here. He's going to have tens plus and like ace queen suited, ace king. So ace queen suited is actually a pretty trivial fold here, given how strong both the ranges are. It's just annoying to have such a good hand, but even ace king in Lawrence spot, I think there's an argument for fold ace king off here. To be honest, sounds crazy. But like pocket jacks, I think is like the closest one here. Like queens, he's always in. Ace king suited, I guess he's in, and then pocket jacks, even though we can see. But this is an ideal situation, right? Like Dale's sometimes going to have nines or better. Williams sometimes going to have like better than jacks here as well. He didn't take that long to put it in as well. I think ace queen suited's got to fold. I think he will fold as well. Like psychologically, it's just hard to beat two hands, isn't it? Like even if you
Yeah,
feel like you're getting the right price, and it's annoying to see those hands, but still you'd have been putting it in at risk with your 40% or whatever you've got. Oh, he's drilled the eight.
you'll
He's drilled the eight. Didn't
blink
see
one
that
out. Oh
coming.
yeah, someone folded one as well. There was a one out on the river.
That's sick. So what should have happened there is
Ah,
min raise from pocket eights, all in from pocket tens. Ace queen suited then maybe could have put it in because when it goes min raise all in, he's playing better
yeah,
against potentially beating one hand and maybe dominate some stuff. Although maybe it's still a fold, it's still pretty close. And then eights probably fold versus the all in. Tens takes it down pre. But because he, to me, made a small mistake by putting it all in, he's actually ended up doubling up.
yeah.
Yeah, if he was
There's
later
a lot
position,
of money in that
I'd
eight.
be, yeah, that's a lot of EV. I'd be looking to stack off with eights if he was like, cut off onwards. Brian folding the ace four now. Ace eight, he could go for the min raise there. I think, but again, it's hard to shift from because I think he's chip leader now. So I think yeah, he should be opening the ace
Yeah,
eight. To be honest, there's a lot of pressure. It's a good blockery hand, but it's hard to adjust to the new situation immediately after. You almost like you haven't kind of realised your chip leader yet. Lawrence just go all in. He looks unsure, but what else can you do? 12 and off bigs, queen jack. Yeah, I mean, you can see why it's such a good all in there because if you've got like ace two offsuit, you can't really call, even though you're going to be ahead a lot. You're
Yeah.
just not far enough ahead. Like it's going to make money to call, it's going to make chips, but in ICM, do you really want to risk that much when you sometimes he's just going to win the flip or have you crushed? And yeah, you have to massively overfold there, despite the fact you're the. It's like that's how you take the power back from the chip leaders. You kind of threaten to take away their position. The stacks have leveled out a lot. Guaranteed 26, but playing for 365,000.
It's wild.
Like a queen should definitely min raise. I like that he's kind of balanced. Like last hand, he was doing this sort of contemplation as well. The double check cards is usually pretty strong, to be honest. No, you really shouldn't go all in here. 15 bigs on the button. This is way, way, way too much hand. Because if you're Brian now, imagine Brian had ace two and was going to put you all in. Had pocket twos and was going to. I mean, it's Brian. He might put you all in with 10-9 suited.
Yeah.
Like he actually has more of a propensity to do it with some pretty loose hands. And you take away the chance where Brian just defends with Jack 10 off and flops a Jack, and then you just have an overpair against his top pair and double up. You just need to be willing to kind of take more risks in these spots. If he has like Ace King offsuit, I would min raise, but I can at least get more on board with it because it's kind of tricky. Queens, it's so hard to be in a bad situation post flop, and this is exactly the hand. Like Brian would have defended or jammed this. He might jammed it. Given what you saw him jam the ace three off, I
I
think
reckon
there's
he
a
would
really
have
good
jammed
chance
it.
he would
I
have put
reckon he
it
would have
in.
jammed it, yeah.
We have such a good
Yeah.
chance to double up. Like sometimes he's got 14% equity. We just got to take our chances. He flops a jack or a nine if he defends, and we just win a huge pot. Like it's so. Yeah, I think this could have changed the whole way the tournament went if he just found a min race there. It might have been Larynx tournament. It looked like he would if he doubles up there, he's literally like contention for chip lead as well. Whereas now he's like
Yeah.
consolidated in the middle. He still has to play really tight. Like you got to take these chances sometimes. And yeah, I mean, I would min raise even like pocket eights probably. But if you've got like pocket sixes, or if you want to jam pocket eights, like obviously everyone's got their line. I just think queens is kind of a non-negotiable one for me. You might min raise queen jack there under the gun, chip leader, but kind of close. A6 could have possibly opened as well. Ace 10 you're going to play, but are you going to min raise or are you going to put them all in? I don't know what the stacks are. Oh my goodness. I heard about this hand. This is so insane. So, what I will say is you should have made your decision because I think I know what happens in this hand. You should have made your decision here.
Yeah, I ended up
Am I
folding. I ended up
am I
folding after
inducing
tanking.
or am I not? And I think Ace 10, given the stacks they've got 13 and 12 bigs or whatever, your hand is too good to fold unless they're both all in. So if I min raise, my intention is to call. And maybe you don't want to raise call
Yeah.
Rima because he's playing tight, but then you should just go all in. Like take away this chance. I mean, obviously you don't know Brian did that crazy jam with Ace 3 off yet, and maybe you don't know what he's like yet. But then you should just go all in. Like you don't want to raise fold a hand like this, and I would never expect in a million years he has 10-5 off. That to me is just absolutely mind blowing. And the snap triangle was what he did last time. The snap triangle wasn't strong, but he might be balanced with that. But yeah, I think that the reason to min raise is to induce because you want him to jam with like ace two and jack 10 and hands that you crush, and then you have to take the variance. If you don't want the variance, go all in.
But I can be right. The mistake I made with this hand is misreading their chip stacks. So I didn't think they were. I thought he had more than he had. So you're completely right. If I'd actually got those stacks right, I would have jammed. And then as you say, I've just leveled myself to this horrible spot. And I was looking at him, and he was breathing so deeply as well. Obviously, he's got 10-5 off. But I did think about it. But it was just, as I said, I've almost leveled myself. Like, okay, I'm third in chips. I've now put myself in this stupid spot. I'm unsure. let's just fold and look for a better spot. And actually, you're right. If I'm min raising, I've got min raise to call off at 13. But with them both being at 13, you're right. The complete right play is to open shove.
I mean, race call
So
given that he jams 10-5 off, but we didn't know that. And if it's close,
yeah,
I'm all for air caution. Don't call off half your stack in such a big spot if you think it's close. And obviously, but like we only know it's not close now, given the hand he's got. If he had ace jack here, it would be like, well done, you've lost the minimum. If you'd seen the ace free off, I feel like you wouldn't have folded, and maybe he's
yeah,
going to calibrate once he thinks people know about it. Ace 10 suited goes for the min raise. King queen. Given what I've seen from this guy, I feel like he's going to probably go all in, but king queen off should just fold versus another gun.
yeah.
It's kind of a cool hand to free bet fold because if you want to, if you've got aces or kings here and all in for 12 bigs a little bit much, you can make you like 8 million here with king queen off, and that can balance your like pocket aces, kings, bluffs if you want to have an all in size. And if you think it looks really strong, then it makes it a really good bluff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go after the guy opening off 15 bigs under the gun, nine-handed at a final table. His range is way too strong. As it happens, like ace 10 suited is one of the weaker hands he has, and he's going to fold. But so there's a lot of people behind that could have found a good hand. He could have just had a good hand. I wonder if he would have called with
Crazy
like
distribution.
ace jack suited or
Yeah.
ace queen off or like pocket eights. There's a few hands there that are pretty tricky from another gun spot where maybe you have to call against hitman, which is not always what you want to do.
Crazy distribution at this point as well. Just also just one pack basically.
King 9 should probably just put him all in, blind v blind. You can go for a raise fold as well. Bit of a small raise. Yeah, I think I would have probably just put him all in. But now he's going to get away because ace jack's going to go all in.
This
Blinds
is a
have gone
wild
up.
hand. This is a wild hand.
I feel like most hands have been pretty wild, so I'm excited to see this. Interesting spot for king queen off. What would you do here?
I think against under the gun,
13 bigs.
having a lot of people less than me. I'm probably just going to fold that.
I think it's just fold.
Yeah.
Yep, good fold. So yeah, these spots are interesting. I think you don't want to go all in. And the reason is, one, like the worst opens might be king 9 suited, queen 9 suited, ace 9 suited, ace 9 off. So like you actually block some folds. If you go all in, they don't call with pocket eights. And as soon as you recognize that, like my all in is not getting value. Fair enough, it denies some equity, but surely it's better to go all in with pocket twos. Because if you go all in with pocket twos, you get a lot more overcards to fold, and you've almost got the same equity when you call Drew a flipping or occasionally crushed. If he's not calling with pocket eights, they're effectively the same hand in that node. But when you call with nines,
Yeah.
it plays much better. Ace 8 flops an 8, or like it comes low cards and you can kind of hold on a little bit more. So, yeah, I would like to see a call. People sometimes make the mistake of going all in there. That's a good call. You might go all in with like jacks if he can call tens and nines, for example. That's kind of where you draw the
Yeah.
line. You want to be able to, if it's a value jam, you want to be able to call with at least one or two hands you dominate. I guess this goes check, small bet, call. Maybe he even sizes up to a third pot, 4.5 million. 4 million, yeah. Call. Bit of a fast call. Usually not that strong when people do this. I think this is a nice spot to actually bet pretty big with Ace Jack because the
Yep.
big blind has one, he has like Jack X, but two, he has 8x of spades, 3x of spades, 4x of hearts, tons of just like combo draws or like nut flush draws and like like a king nine of spades. Like there's so many hands which you don't mind if they fold or they're going to pay maximum. So usually like betting geometric is betting like half pot here. I might it's called an overload. Like bet slightly bigger, like two-thirds pot. Maybe bet like 13 million, 14 million.
Yeah, 14, 15 million. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even though it looks like you're
Like
committed,
that.
but the way you balance that is just do it with king, queen, spade, heart, and then you can fold to the all in,
Yeah,
right? Or like a hand where like you kind of got some blockers and you've got some fold equity, or maybe like ace five of spades and then side call it off if they go all in, even though that would be a horrible situation. So it's not just I bet big and commit my stack. I've got the nuts. Like there is ways to balance it. Like pocket queens is a really nice one to bet bigger here as well with I think like probably like king jack plus aces. Maybe you mix in a check sometimes exactly like spade hearts. Try and let him bluff. Or like a set, maybe you check sometimes. But queens kings, especially in ICM, like there's a lot less value in trying to like let them bluff because you'd rather protect your hand. Like the pot's 20 million. This pot is so valuable already. So I think you want to bet at least 10 million, and I would bet nearer to 15 million as William here. I will say before it's in the bet size, this given that like we saw him check the jacks before, I was going to say if he checks this spot, that would be absolutely criminal. Like one of the most
yeah, yeah,
devastating checks I've seen because it's like your hand is essentially the nuts, and like if you run into a set or two pair, it's time to die. There's so many
yeah,
situations like that in poker where you just have to accept your fate. They haven't announced themselves as having a good hand yet. There's a lot of reason to think they might have done that on the flop. If they had a good hand. Fair enough. Sometimes they got pocket eight. Sometimes they got jack eight. Sometimes they were trapping. The stats pot ratio is too low. We're playing 31. The pot's 20. If he's got a better hand, we've got to die. And then what our focus is on, maximize our EV of the hand, which means fold equity, protect our hand, or obviously get max value from the times that he does have a worse jack or something else. And like if he's got like pocket nines, I'm guessing because you said it's a wild hand, he's not going to fold. Pocket nines is a pretty trivial fold here because one, you block bluffs, so a bluff might be 9-10 or queen 9. Two, more importantly, you are just so far behind, so far behind if he's got value because the value is king jack plus. You've literally got two outs, and the times that he's bluffing, he's going to have a lot of equity, or potentially you might get bluffed on the river. Like you don't have any way to. There isn't a good river for pocket nines here. Like almost, I would say, if you do want to continue pocket nines on the turn, you should go all in, and that's because you don't believe him. You think he's over bluffing, and you're like, okay, I'll run it. And like, if you've got king jack, ace jack, or queens that are going to call me off, c'est la vie, I would always fold nines. Um, I think the bet's a little bit too small, and I think you
yeah.
could trick yourself here with nines into thinking, you know, maybe he thinks the guy might be betting with ace eight, but that's one hand, and he probably shouldn't. Um, there's still a lot of combos of king jack, ace jack, maybe queen jack, pocket queens, pocket kings. He's probably saying like, I've got the suits that don't block the flush draw, but that's actually not that relevant. And if your opponent has a combo draw or flush draw, they've got a lot of equity against your hand, and like look at his equity. So I think that's just a very stubborn call with nines. And if you want to hold on with a hand that's got more outs. Hold on with an eight. You can have or like I said, you've got every top pair that didn't raise the flop. That's a lot of jack X to hold on with. You've got 8x of spades, 4x of hearts. If you want to hold on looser because you don't believe him, imagine if you just call with ace of spades 8 or 4-5 of diamonds. At least you've got five outs if you're behind instead of two. You've got two and a half times
Yeah.
more equity. Like it's just infinitely better to have a two pair draw here. So that's the main. Like if you're going to weight your hands and look at all the ways you could call this turn, I'm all for sometimes like I don't believe this guy. I want to keep him honest. Sometimes you got to do that. Just don't pull from this hand. It's better to call with like ace queen high, because then at least like if he's bluffing, you're still ahead. He shouldn't really be bluffing with a pair,
Yeah.
and then you dominate more hands, or you've got ways out of jail because you've got ace queen and he's got king jack. You've got your six outs. If you've got 4-5, you've got your five outs. I'm guessing he rivers a nine because you say it's wild and this guy won the tournament. No. That was quite a quick check on the river, and yeah, the fact it's the four of hearts is one of the safer hearts because all the four X of hearts that always get there are no longer there. In fact, like there's still five two of hearts, ace five of hearts, ace two of hearts, five six of hearts, five seven of hearts, six five. Like maybe some of those considered jamming or raising at some point, or like ace ten of hearts, I guess. So there's a danger we run into it here, and because the ICM is so heavy, and we don't have like if we've got ace jack with the ace of hearts, I'm like probably still going for it on the river. If we've got queens, I'm probably still going for it because then he can have ace jack or king jack, like more often. But with ace jack in this spot, when we've got half pot, I'm now like we could consider a check. Um, we could. Yeah, I wouldn't fault it. Or if you are going to bet, maybe bet like again, there's a danger in doing this, but if you bet like 15 million and fold to the all in, if you don't think your opponent can have all ins, you do open the door to being bluffed. But if you think your opponent's not going to find a check raise bluff, that's a way to kind of value bet and survive on the off chance he does have it. Yeah, I think I would lean towards check. Uh,
Yeah,
the quick check and the quick call is what's the only reason I'm more like it does feel like he's got a stubborn turn call, which is going to be ace eight or a jack. Usually it's a jack. It's like jack two, jack five. Like I think the fact he didn't think about leading the river, like discounts flushes a lot. That's a very
yeah.
small bet.
Interesting what you say about the quick check.
That's a very, very small bet. It looks very milky. It's very hard to be bluffing, but again, like the only danger with this is if you're planning to bet fold and your opponent is capable of bluffing, like what if he's just got five, six of spades, was done with it, and is now like, man, it looks like you might fold them all in. If there's even a small chance of that, you really can't do this, which is why a lot of people just they never open the action for us for like a small size on the river. ICM you can get away with it sometimes, or like there's reason to leave a bit of chips behind. Like I said, I would have probably bet 16 million and left like six if I was gonna try and survive and navigate around it. But I would just rather check with this hand and just say like I'm just going to basically jam or not. And queens I would jam. Ace jack with a heart I would jam. Like even ace jack with a jack of hearts I would jam. Ace jack with the ace of hearts I would jam. This one I'd lean check
Yeah,
and oh my god. Oh my god. This is a wild hand. I did not see that coming. He's
I know. I
wow.
noticed when the guy bet the river, the Damon guy, his vein in his neck was going ballistic as he was obviously weighing up um, what he was about to do. But yeah, I just thought I think anyone does. You just absolutely sure he has it when he check raises this river. But it's funny when you break back down this when you break it back down. You talk about the quick check and stuff on the river. It's very interesting.
That is that is something else. Like I think Ace Jack has done this to get away, and this is why you don't do this. Especially, I feel like in today's day and age with poker, too many people have been victim of this now, where they've left themselves with a really small amount in a huge pot when they value bet and the guys raise the river and they've got a bluff catcher and they've done it to get away, and then they've ended up being bluffed somehow, getting infinite to one. And
Yeah,
it's too devastating when this happens because I don't know what happened. I'm assuming he's going to fold, and I wouldn't blame him for folding because what the hell is the guy bluffing with? But you have opened the door to doing that. Like his bet on the river looked really weak. So, like in reality, what you should do is only choose that river bet size when you've got pocket jacks or a nut flush or something where you're just like, yeah, I've got him now, snap call. Like give him that extra
yeah,
bit of rope on the river and be completely unbalanced. But if you don't think the guy's capable of it, that's why you've done this. He's done this small bet because he's like, no one bluffs here, so I can get away. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Like I think the turn call with nines is really bad. I think the river jam is pure exploit based on the sizing, and he's right. So I can't argue with it. Like I would say, like you want to have a heart in your hand, you want to like have some interaction, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Look at this price he's getting:
yeah.
13 to win 83. What even is that price? Six. he needs to
Subsequent
be right
first
like
run or something.
like 15 to 16% of the time. 15% of the time. But like you said, sitting there watching your hand, you're like, oh, he's so relieved. He's like, what? Straight away. uh, yeah, like watching this back, I'm like, how on earth is anyone ever finding a bluff here? And
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, spoiler alert, like this hand is winning the tournament. Like being willing to do
yeah,
this and go with his read and risk it all, like, which is why, like, when I looked at your 9-8 hand and when I looked at the guy's ace queen hand, like, there's so many moments like this in tournaments where it's way, way out there. It's like almost this fantasy land hand where, like, robots and theory and GTO doesn't go anywhere near it. But if in the moment you stick with your read, you go with it, you're willing to risk your whole stack and like die for the read, and it goes right, it can win you a tournament, or it can get you propel you to the top three in the ICM chop, or like these spots are so meaningful, and them going well, it's worth so much money, and it's like it's too easy in poker to just be like I'm waiting for a better spot, or I'm like biding my time, I'm waiting for good hands, and you can see based on how people are playing, like that strategy would go pretty well for you in this tournament, but
yeah.
sometimes you just card dead. Sometimes you literally are just folding for ages, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And yeah, the lesson in this hand is one, don't underestimate your opponent because he was capable of bluffing, and yeah, bet bigger on the turn. Maybe he would have folded nines, but that in hindsight would have been a better result. Don't reopen the action for a small size on the danger that your opponent's capable of bluffing because it's so detrimental. Like if he'd have jammed the river, I guess nines would have folded, given he knew his hand was a bluff.
Yeah.
Um, like he's just like it's weird because like on the turn he must think his opponent's got bluffs, but then on the river he's pivoted to saying like you've probably got one pair, and I'm gonna try and make you fold that, and he's right because he like for his bluff to be good, he needs his opponent to have ace jack, pocket queens, pocket kings, these sort of hands, and to fold them. So it's
Yeah.
actually it's so audacious that I mean I love it given that it worked and he was right, but so it's like if this guy just had pocket jacks, or if this guy just had the nut flush, or if this guy just just called with ace jack, he'd be on the highlight reel forever as like almost one of the biggest punts of all time to play pocket nines this way. But he was willing to do that, and he went on to win the tournament for the infinite buy-ins. And this, if he busted out,
Yeah.
he'd get what 26K. So
Yeah, and you're looking as well, like you look at the check back on the river for Williams' point of view, you're looking at him sitting with 83 million.
yeah, and
Um,
that's
abs
like chip lead, right?
absolutely loving life. Yeah, big time. Yeah,
So that's like even if like he has the best hand more than half the time on the river, I don't know what percentage of the time it is. I think it's probably just about enough such that you could value it your ace jack, whether it's goal in or bet most of your stack, whatever. But you just don't need to. Like you said, you're in such a good
yeah,
spot as the chip lead. Like the times that you run into it, the
yeah.
times you're wrong, or like it's just so much of his stack now that he's. I mean, I guess if he checks and loses, he'd have 22 million, but that's basically a double up from where he is now.
Yeah.
That's one of the sickest hands. I hadn't seen that hand before, and it's just. I mean, a lot of hands have
Oh,
been
I could
very.
not believe it when I went into the break and I watched it back and I saw he had a bluff. I couldn't believe it. Um, but what it also meant is I was looking intently for that same, that neck, the vein on the neck when I was playing against him moving forward, because obviously I knew what that meant.
Yeah, I mean, I will say some people just feel nervous in big pots, but if you've seen it with a huge big bluff, it's hard for to not see there is at least a small difference.
Yeah,
I'm gonna quickly go pee if you want to have like a 2 minute break before we carry on.
cool. That's one.
All right, one sec. Um, the live stream for me says 0 views, but I can see there's people in the chat, so I know it's just must be a glitch on my end. Yeah, any questions in the chat or anything you want to look more into, feel free to let me know.
Mate, when you are.
Good to go. Just saw
Good to go.
Laurent folding ace-6 suited here off 14. Could open, but you know, if people are doing all this nonsense, get out of the way and let them go crazy. Brian folding ace-6 off now. He's reining it in.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his game plan. I'm just going to do something crazy very early on so everyone sees it, and then I'm going to play tight.
Yeah.
King 8 suited. He should be. Yeah, just put him all in. He probably doesn't know that Hitman is going to call him with King 9 offsuit, but what else can you do? 14 bigs. So now he's got decent chip lead now. He wants to be like consolidating that, doing all the little raise and takes. And this is where like a lot of your EV in this stage in the tournament is from kind of fighting back against the chip lead. Like you have to play really tight, but tight aggressive, like jam on him. He can't, he doesn't want to call
Yeah.
you either. He wants to open wide. Trivial fold from the 6-8 suited. Good fold. Looks like he wants to play in the cutoff. No. 7-6 suited, another trivial fold. So Jack-8 off should definitely open on the button here, whether it's as a min raise. I think it should be a jam actually, because he's left this guy with like 6 bigs or something, hasn't he? Yeah, he should just open. He
Yeah.
should just jam the Jack-8 off. It's 9-5 suited. He should just put him in. 2 people missed the jam there, and he would have, I guess, probably called. It's close. It's hard to call though. Queen Jack suited, like blind v blind, sure, but if the button open jam there, it would have been tough. He
Yeah.
probably would have called. Yeah, I think he would have called. Yeah, I think Jack 8 could have min raised, cycled the big blind or jam there. Because Jack 8's like is a fine hand to open even if you're not, you know, putting the pressure on. Rima, King 8 suited. And now she goes limit King 8 suited. So this is like not what I would expect at all. 8 big blind
Yeah,
jam with the
exactly.
King 8 suited. And I think it's actually too loose, especially with this guy's stack. I think it could be a really sexy hand to min raise because it would look so strong. So strong. And like if you want to min raise aces and kings, which I think you do, maybe ace king suited, it's the sort of hand that might fall in there. Because like your suited broadways, you're probably just going all in with. Your king 9 suited, maybe that's a min raise instead. But yeah, I think it would just look really strong and people are going to massively overfold if you min raise their off 8 bigs. And you don't risk it all if someone finds a hand to play. Maybe Lauren could have defended the big blind, but probably not, right? Probably not.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that with this guy's stack, I think you don't want to risk your whole 8 bigs with the king 8 there with that many players to act. So he should open here. I don't know if he has I think it's too many to open jam. So he should just min raise. Now this is the exact spot I was talking about with you need to fight back against the chip lead. Because even though, like pocket fives is a hand you'd normally probably call 15 bigs, but he knows Lawrence's jam range here is going to be so tight because of the Burns range. And Damon's open range is incredibly wide here. He's going to open ace-2 off, or at least he should, you know, king-2 suited. Even if he only opens like a cutoff range instead of, you know, like a button range or whatever he probably should open in ICM, it's so hard for him to call here. Because, like, look, you'd literally go to the same stack. You give him 30 million, you suddenly got 60, he's got 60. The whole changes the whole dynamic of things, and people don't realize the power that they have here. They'd just be like, I'm covered. This guy can bust me. I fold or I call, or I'm like, I'm playing passive. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for this guy, and that gives chip leaders even more power. But really, like as Laurenke, you should definitely be jamming on him.
Yeah, they don't think about the worries the chip leader have, do they? Just think about their own. Oh, I could get bust.
Yeah, like, I mean, if he's got 100 bigs, if he's sitting there with like 200 million, it's completely different. But you're literally like, you're putting the stacks level if he doubles you up. It's so hard for him to call. If he has king queen off, what's he gonna do? I think your spot's a little bit different. I think you could jam, but you crush some hands. You don't need the variance. You've got more to risk. So I would call with the ace nine, not go in. I might go in with like ace two suited here though. And like you literally
Yeah.
go into you swap in stacks if you double for him. Like even if he's got like ace nine suited, it's so hard for him to call if you go in. Well, like look, the ace jack suited spot before, right? That really highlights it because if people are folding these hands, you're just omega printing. As the chip leader here, like he can't fold to you with, in my opinion, like ace ten suited, ace jack offsuit, pocket eights, like hands like this. Which if he starts folding those as well, he's opening a ridiculous amount of hands as it is. Like his raise fold gap would just be obscene. He's also raised to more than 2x, like just min raise as the chip leader. You put on enough pressure as it is. You don't need to give yourself a worse price. Uh, Snap. I think he's actually got a reasonable hand to check. You could just go for a small range bet as the chip leader, but then you probably just want to get it in on the flop, to be honest, even though it's horrible the times you run into it. But it's like, what else are
Okay.
you going to do? There's 14 million in the pot. You've only got 42. He's opening really wide. He has worse 9x. And there's so many turns that are bad for you. Like, yeah, if he bets, say he bet like 5 million on the flop, I think you'd want to just literally make it 15 million and so I get it in, as horrible as it is. Uh, I think you checked a little bit too fast there on the turn. He Snapchat the flop, and then yeah,
Just
I think you've
slowing that
checked
down. Okay.
I think you've checked too fast there. I mean, because I read into these like as the imposition player, it's like if you had an okay hand, it's probably not what you would
Yep.
do. Like if you've got like king six of clubs, you're not like it's almost like check is like I want to look weak, so it almost means you're more polar. So then when you do continue, it's you've got a stronger hand. Um, at least how I would run into it. Like why would you want to snap check with a hand that doesn't want to face a bet? And I think you probably should bet with your hand too. You can probably try and go for two streets. Check's definitely fine. Um, but you can kind of set the price if you bet yourself. Like he could just have an eight, he could have a six, he could have pocket sevens, he could have like nine five suited, a hand like he's got a pair and a flush draw, two overs with a heart. You still get called by some hands you crush too. Like ace jack one heart is going to call a bet. You can river the ace. So I'd probably just bet like a third pot, uh, and then I would have lost more. And I might have value bet the river again just to set the price because you're in a horrible spot if he bets, but if you bet, he can call with worse.
I'm going up calling river here as well, just because I thought my hand was so underwrapped.
See, I think I'll just bet one big blind because then he can, if he's got ace eight, if he's got ace seven, if he's got king seven, if he's got king six, if he's got ace four, if he's got ace queen with a heart, like all of these hands, it's hard for him to bluff raise because he hasn't shown any aggression or initiative yet. So psychologically, it's hard to go check back, raise river with a bluff at least. I'm not saying he's not capable of doing that, but you could bet one big blind with a straight or a flush as well because he just looks really weak. So yeah, I think I'd just bet one big blind so then you don't face the like he probably bets most of his bluffs already too. So facing a bet, it's actually pretty ropey. Like it depends on his size. If he bets more than third pot, I'd probably fold. But then I might be getting bluffed sometimes. So I think I'd just bet one big blind and think he's shut back twice. He probably had showdown. I'd probably take a bit more time on the river. Although I guess you've checked as like I want to induce a bluff. You're just hoping he's
Yeah,
got queen
exactly.
jack. But I think a lot of the hands bet soon is the problem. Like if he has ace high, he probably doesn't bluff. If he has like ace queen, ace king. But if he has a hand like queen jack, he probably bets the turn or the flop. So I think it's just hard for him to have a bluff. He's got to have like ace three or ace two and then you've got an ace, right? Like, so I think the river's actually a side fold, even though
Okay.
it's annoying as played. But then that's why I'd just bet one big blind, save the trouble, and maybe raises fold. If you had like Jack nine on the river, I think I'd be nearer to check fold. But with the best nine, I think we might be able to get enough value to make it worthwhile.
Okay.
Chip leader gets queens, seems unfair. Got to fold the king 10. That's the sort of spot if I'm the chip leader with queens, I'm showing everyone. Because you're opening so
Yeah.
wide, it's almost like psychologically, I'm like, look, guys, I'm actually opening with hands. Ace 5 suited, I would open under the gun there. I think it's a nice hand. Go for a min raise. I'd probably fold like ace 6 suited, ace 3 suited, maybe fold ace 7 suited, but then ace 5 suited is almost like one of the better ones. What would you do with the ace 7 suited here? Like just under 12 bigs in the
Where is he
cutoff.
on the cutoff? I've probably got. I'm jamming there.
I think it's only dicey because do you remember the other guy's stack? William sitting there with 5.5 bigs.
Yeah, but isn't this guy's second shortest? Maybe
I
not.
think there's a few stacks that are still close together. Like I think Rima's got less. She jammed 8 bigs and then so she's got 10 but just paid the big blind. So I think I
You're
would
going to see a wild
I'd min
fold from me in a
raise.
minute, so we can discuss it.
I think yeah I would just min raise the A7 suited and get away if someone. It's annoying that Brian might jam on us because he's a bit of a loose cannon. Um, but yeah, I think I jam probably ace 5 suited and ace 9 suited, and then maybe ace 8 suited, and then min raise with the ace 7, ace 6 suited. So I think it's like a fine line for me what I'd do here, but we really don't want to run into it when that guy's only got 5 bigs and someone else has got slightly
Yeah.
less. But it's a nice hand to steal. You know, plays well versus the big blind, got good blockers. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't fold. And then I'd open this hand as you, whether or not I would min raise or jam. I guess do we know about the 10-5 off by now?
No, because we hadn't been on break and we weren't allowed to know. So we until we went on break, we couldn't find that out.
So, unless Brian's got more chips than you, I would min raise this spot, especially into Rima. If you've got the same stack as Brian, I'd still min raise because I think Rima's gonna overfold. Yeah, you got. I think he's just gonna put her all in. Yeah, I think I would have min raised. Yeah, Rima, annoying spot, but you do have to fold the Queen 8 suited, even though I can see she has him crushed. The other guy's too short. Fair play for her for thinking about it for so long though. She's willing to gamble. He's just being a card rack as the chip leader now.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy all in. Yeah, this is what I meant by like if you start folding hands like this as the chip lead, your raise fold gap is just way too big. So that's kind of the two sides of the coin. You can't fold ace queen now, and
Yeah.
pretty sure he wins this one. Which is yeah annoying for Brian. There was quite a few stacks shorter than him. Well, he was in like pretty much third place.
That's what I mean. So this, if you look at that chip distribution there, I'm going to get a hand on the button in a minute, which I just didn't know what to do ICM wise. We'll get to it in a minute and let's talk about them. But it was because of this crazy amount of shorties, like really short shorties.
Yeah, so now it's everyone is in the bin except for the chip leader and needs to play it really tight and navigate around
Yeah.
everything. Like he could open king 6 off there, I think. Be pushing it a little bit, but everyone's just gonna play so tight. Ace 9, he should go for a min raise. I mean, he's cut off really because the button's dead. Yeah, I think that's a hand he should play, and you should open with the Jack 9 as well. I think. Oh no, so I'm wrong actually. It was I forgot she is on the button. Um, so yeah, you should good fold. Ace nine I think should probably still open, but it's closer.
Yeah.
You should probably just go all in with the queen nine. He's folded. You can't fold the small blind there with queen nine. That's way too strong. Yeah, this is the thing. Like he's effectively chip leader now, right? That's literally how it works. So the chip leader folds, the second in chips is now the chip leader. If the second in chips folds, the third in chips is now the chip leader. At least for this hand,
Yeah.
and that means you cover everyone. You're the one that gets to pressure them. If you jammed queen nine here, I think king ten is actually going to fold. That guy's literally sitting there with five bigs, and queen nine is actually
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. Yeah.
a really good hand. That's not like I would jam with probably like queen two offsuit there, and like a lot of hands. I mean, I'm jamming probably like over 50% of hands because the guy has to fold so much. But if I didn't jam queen nine, I'd definitely limp it or like min raise it. Like it's it's not like 7-2 offsuit where I'm ever getting away from it. It's just it's a really strong hand blind v blind. So like I'd either raise fold limp or jam, and I think jam would be just the best option. King jack. Uh, it's a really strong hand, but I think you just have to go all in. He could do something like the chip leader is supposed to probably jam on him really wide if he limps with hands that, like maybe Jack 2 suited or King 2 offsuit, but a lot of people don't find some of the counterintuitive all in. So I think I'd be kind of like my hand feels too good to do this, but I would just probably go all in. He limps. So I think that this is brave to go for the limp because if you face an all in, I think you have to call, and it's annoying you run into like ace
Mm.
two off and hands like this a lot, but a lot of the hands that you run into are going to call your all in anyway, and you kind of like once you've got blind v blind with king jack suited, your hand's just too good. Wow, what a flop! He's going to win more now. He could have gone for like a small raise as well, I guess. Uh, yeah, seems fine post flop, and then he can check or bet the turn, I guess. King nine's in a tough spot now. Good fold, very good fold. King eight, he's just going to go all in. Ace queen. I would just probably just go all in. Yeah, I think I would just go all in. Like if you got like ace jack, I might min raise and try and get away. Or like ace ten, king queen, these sort of hands, I might min raise and like try and get away. But ace queen, it's like it's not good enough to raise call, but it's too good to fold. It's too good to raise fold. So I would always just go all in. The more I think about it. Uh, yep. Discipline fold from Remo with ace nine suited. Good fold. Yeah, I think part of the problem is as well, you give in the big blind a really good price to like stop and go. Because
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually really short. He's shorter than I realized, but a lot of time you want to raise bigger when the big blind's short because they get to call and just like don't jam a lot. But in ICM, it kind of comes back around where he still wants to fold a lot. But yeah, I would have just gone all in with the ace queen, and now he's going to defend. He should always defend.
I think he folds.
That would be a ludicrous fold as the short stack. Yeah,
No. No.
I think from his perspective, he's got an orbit where he could
Yeah.
potentially fold before he gets blinded out. It's not really going to make any difference putting this extra big blind in, but the times he flops something, don't he jams and makes you fold, or he doubles up, that's worth a lot, and he's got the least risk premium, almost like nothing to worry about. I will say that the snap jam there doesn't look that strong. It doesn't matter because he's missed. But if I had like a two or a three there, I'm more likely to find the call than if like tank bet one big blind or something else, where I'd be like, ah man,
Yeah.
this guy just got it. The snap jam feels like you've just you're like, whatever, I've got to get it in. Probably got ace king, ace queen, king queen.
So just if you're gonna do it, just hold off. Take your time.
I mean, you can always balance it, but it's a lot harder to balance a really quick decision than like a 10-second decision.
Yeah.
Now this time I would min raise because now you've got 16 bigs. Yeah. Now he's going to go all in. I'm going to assume a leech off. Oh, Lauren gets the call as well because he doesn't reopen the action. Yeah, he's got a call here because it's almost like you're soft colluding to get the page up. Like you both want him to bust.
Yeah.
The chip leader wants him to
He
stay
kept
in.
looking at me, kept like hard staring at me to try and get that across. I know what's going on, mate.
Yeah. I think that there's an argument for you betting like one big blind on the turn because you can actually get value from hands like he's got. You know, you could have a flush draw, you could have a straight draw. You probably have the best hand. Sometimes he has a pocket pair or something, but yeah, I think check's fine. And then yeah, you could also potentially value bet the river, but that seems pretty thin. Like it's almost like a merge bet if you bet the river where he might fold ace high, so you might get more of the
Yeah.
pot. Like imagine if their hands are flipped, the small blind's got Jack 10, Lawrence got Ace 6, and he's like side folds through with Ace high, so then you get the whole pot instead. Because he just doesn't really have a
Yeah.
better hand. Like I feel like he announces himself by now. Maybe he has exactly like pocket sixes or sevens or an 8 sometimes, but I think your ace is pretty much going to beat or chop with Lawrence. So it's almost like a free roll then to like bet potentially get value from a king or bet potentially bluff him off an ace. It's like the opportunity to look at either. Yeah, easy all in with the queen jack. So I think this time there is an argument for you can make it like 3.5 bigs, and then if the small blind and the big blind go in, he can fold because you're on a pay jump of like over 10k or something ridiculous. And obviously, if the both blinds go all in, you've both got really good hands, and his queen jack's kind of toast unless you've got like tens and nines or tens and ace king. So it's the spot where maybe you can't fold that. You cannot fold that.
Well, that's wild. That's wild, that fold.
That is criminal. That is really criminal because of the stacks. Literally, like, and Rima's the other shortest stack, and okay, Hitman maybe he'll blast it in with something, but you just got to make chips. You've got fold equity. It's hard for both of these players to call. If the small blind's sitting there with ace five, you jam four bigs. It's so hard for them to still play the hand. Fair enough, the big blind is going to call with some hands, but the big blind might call with queen nine. You know, like queen eight suited and hands that you crush sometimes, or you just got to kind of take your chances. That 6 million in the pot you can win uncontested is so valuable right now. You have a really good hand. It's not like you're like I need to take my spot with 5-6 off, like the spot we saw earlier. It's like actually a good hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most criminal fault that I think I've seen. So like 9-7 suited is now in a really tough spot. I think it's a jam because it's hard for you to. I don't know. I genuinely don't know with this one. He's got four bigs. That guy's got eight bigs. She's got like eight bigs. Man, that's a really tough spot. Because you can almost like if you have like 25 million, I'd definitely jam. But you've got like 40 to 45 million here, I think. Maybe even close to 50
Yeah.
mil. Like you can afford it if you've got ace five or hands that you might fold if you had less. So that's a really tough spot with 9-7 suited. I think it's probably an all in because you still overfold and the chips are so valuable. Like just kind of getting some headway between him and a few of the other stacks, and you don't get many opportunities where the chip leader folds. Most of the time, he's just going to be grinded down to like five bigs. And like if you get called, you've got decent equity. Like if you've got king seven, I think you're just going to fold there. King nine, you're in a tough spot there in the big blind. Maybe even fold king nine off. That's a horrible spot. Horrible spot. I didn't see what you had. Whether he would have ran into it or not.
I think that's when I'm on the button. You get the weird spot.
Yeah, that 9-7
Two
suited
hands.
to me is the closest spot I've seen so far. I
Yeah.
think I would have. I think I would have jammed. I think I would have jammed. But the Queen Jack is really like. I think that's you can't fault that. You cannot fold that. Min raise ace queen suited looks good.
Yeah, this is
Gotta
wild.
fold this hitman. You gotta fold this hitman. No hitman. No. I mean that this right there is a big
ICM
argument for
super.
why you make some of these big folds. Queen Jack is still a bridge too far. You've only got four bigs, and you've got fold. You've got to take that one. But the 9-7 suited one is close, and seeing a play like this means that folding 9-7 suited could well be the right play because this guy's just going to jam with pretty much no fold equity, almost always crushed. Yeah, I think you would have just folded versus the open anyway. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a side snap with the ace queen suited. And you're very surprised to see that. And the whole, especially the guy that's folded his queen jack is like, wow. So yeah, that's why you look at these stacks, man. Yeah, you don't. He's
Right, so
just
look at those stacks. So look at my stack and look at his next hands. This is so interesting.
so you are.
So Dale's going to be in the big. Dale's going to be in the big with 52.5. I've got 45.9 and Reema's in the small with 15.5. And I've never been more ICM wise unsure what to do. So I'll be really interested.
I don't know whether I'm hoping that I'm going to be like, oh, what do you do here? Or I'm just like, no, you do that. Like, have a
No,
really easy, really
I'm
hard.
sure you'd just be like, no, you do that, mate. But it was such a strange. Normally, it's just like you just know what to do, but when you're in this spot, you're like, what?
Damon should min raise. Why is he not min raising? He's not playing like the chip leader, is he?
That's what I mean. So it's, yeah, and you've got three hands before Y is basically blinded in. So, what hand do you think I'm going to have?
What hand do I think you're gonna have? What's the big blind stack?
He's got more than me. I've got like 14. He's got like 52 or something. I think this says something like
Uh, King Queen, Ace Jack, pocket fives.
that.
I mean, it's definitely a hand you want to play. It's
Yeah,
again
didn't know
like
what to do. Didn't know what
to
to
me,
do.
it's either you raise and you call the all in versus either player. Like honestly, raise the big blind's supposed to put you all in with pocket twos, but if you don't think that's how it goes, you just open jam. I think that I
So
might land on that.
I could be like, in my mind, the chips I was going to make effectively, if I didn't outweigh, if I ran into it with two such tiny stacks. So it was such an unusual situation. Like any time, like this is just normal hand. Obviously, just happily raise, get it in, whatever. But with William basically having three bigs and Lauren having like six or something, and Rima having five, I thought if I raise and call this off, and I'm out, is this like the biggest ICM punt ever? So that's where I was. That's where I was in my head at this moment.
I think raise fold, like you have to call Rima because she's too short, but raise fold
Yeah.
against the big blind is not crazy because he's got. It's not like he's the chip leader and can put a lot of pressure on as much. And I mean, I don't know if we saw him fold the queen nine as us yet, but he's playing quite tight. So
Yeah.
in actuality, like when we min raise, like he's in the same boat then. Like he doesn't want to run into it as well. So he's probably playing too tight versus the min raise. So min
Okay.
raise to fold versus the big blind, I think is a viable option here too, which is a way to navigate it, and you don't lose your position then, and then you can play post flop and still, you know, you do well against his calling range in the big blind. So
Yeah.
and then yeah, if Rima jams, we just can't fold
Yeah.
because the price is too good, and we
Yeah.
don't.
Like
It's
it.
not that detrimental to double her up. If that, it's not going to happen very often. So I might, if I don't raise, I probably wouldn't raise call because of the situation. So I would, yeah, I would raise, fold to the big blind jam, call Rima.
So now I'm checking his stack, and now I'm like, now he knows I've been checking if he's got me covered. So it's like right.
Remember how much pressure you put on him? Like if you jam and he calls, he's got three bigs left if he loses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not if it's the chip leader's big blind. Like if the chip leader and seat two swap, it does change things a bit. Where then maybe I would open jam instead of raise because I think he's going to jam on me wide, and he can pressure me post flop as well. It's a bit problematic.
Yep.
So I might, if I raise, I'm like, I now have to call off and do I want the variant? So I might open jam in that situation. But then if it's against someone really tight, then I'm looking potentially for a way to get away. But I'd say don't be scared of potentially playing post flop or like of the worst case scenarios because they're not going to happen very often. Especially, I mean, you might not have known how tight this guy played in a lot of spots, but like he's probably going to defend the king free suited. He's probably not going to check raise us enough. He's probably not going to, do anything too crazy post flop against us because our stacks are so similar. If he's got 100 million,
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying where we're like, I probably would have open jammed if he had 100 million. Again, like, do I really want the variance? And if he's got nines to aces, like it's sometimes you just got to die. Picking up 6 million's massive for your stack here. It's like nearly 15% of your stack, right?
Yeah.
And it's like see it like this as well. It's money that you take away from him because most of the time he's just going to get a walk, or you give Rima the chance to jam and get it through, which maybe she should have done with Queen free suited, but fair enough, she folded. I think that's okay. Like you base it by folding. It's not obviously you can win by folding by getting pay jumps, but a lot of the time you're letting the chips go to other players as well, which is always bad
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Like this guy had, I mean, now he's got 21. That means what before that because he's just been given 1.5 bigs. Before you were on almost the same stack. He had 19 and a half. If you'd have got this hand for, you'd have gone above him.
Yeah.
So it's like as much you got to play tight, but you've got to kind of tussle and like pick your battles at the
Yeah.
same time. Like it's usually better to play too tight
You
if
see
you're
me
not sure.
thinking there going, that's probably a mistake.
I mean, it's too tight, but you're playing for how many buy-ins? You've gone through how many people? Like I'm all for like if it's close, don't. He's got queens again as the chip lead. I'm all for air caution. Don't do anything rash. Yeah, ace jack suited's got to be in. Very happily against the chip
Okay,
lead.
then,
Like ace king's
so
going to
then
be
the
in as
next
well.
hand, next hand we end up double laddering, and then I was feeling great about my eights fold. So it's one of those strange situations, isn't it? We make like
Butterfly effect.
50k the next hand. And,
Yeah, you've got to be happy.
yeah, so effective a
Um,
deal. Yeah,
yeah.
effective deal. And we'll talk about the deal in a minute because it's very interesting. Obviously, we have to lose Rima first, but
Someone actually came and asked me about I think it was one of Damon's friend was asking me advice on the deal.
interesting.
But yeah, I didn't really have like a horse. Like I didn't want to give someone advice because then it's like almost like I'm taking away from the other people then. Um,
Yeah, so 40k ladder.
that's massive. That's like a good first place prize. You've just laddered in one hand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's why tournament poker is so silly. So much of the money comes down to these spots, these hands.
So yeah, you're gonna get and you're gonna see how we got to go forward like 15 minutes now. We looked at numbers here, didn't do a deal because she was so short. And then so if you skip through, I'll say 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, just looking at the stacks, the way I would see this is if I know you have to leave 10% up top. It's always nice to do an ICM deal when you're not the chip leader because it's basically it's either you don't play for money or you leave it all up top. When you're only playing for first, you change in the tournament to chip EV, and the ICM model is the chip leader has an advantage every hand because they can pressure you. So as the chip leader, I would not take ICM. I would want more than ICM because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all you guys are just gonna mainly have to fold, wait for her to bust, and then like wait for you to bust, wait for you to bust. Sure, obviously sometimes someone doubles for a year and like it changes, but at least how things are at the moment, he's got the power. So really, like
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd want more from everyone to do ICM. I don't know how much more, how I would gauge that. Depends on the variance and who's left and like the dynamics, but I would never do an ICM deal in this situation. As the chip lead, that is.
Which is I think what we ended up doing four-handed. We negotiated out once the ISO numbers had been given.
So this is what the deal would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what the actual payouts are. Like, it's easy to look at this as Damon as well and be like,
You have
you
to
know,
still play for, you're still playing for an extra like 95, 96k there as well. So that has to be factored in. But yeah, so Damon's basically locking up second place money there with still 100k to play for.
yeah. I mean,
But
the
with
only
winners so
argument for
short, it's not.
it's tough because the big argument for doing it is, there's just so many buy-ins and it's such a rare situation. Rather than like the immediate EV of the situation, there's an argument for, as me Damon, I pass up on the fact I've got this ICM edge and I just take this anyway because it's so much money and it means so much. And
Yeah.
if I bust, so there's a chance I bust out next and I get 70. Well, it's very, very low. The chance that I come like third, it's hard for me to come fifth or fourth. Then, that's a problem. But
Yeah.
everyone else is almost in the same boat. So you don't want to, as Damon, obviously you don't know what financial situation everyone else is in as well. But just because like the money meaning a lot to me in terms of buy-ins at least, regardless of the situation, because you're playing a £200 tournament, this is ridiculous amount of buy-ins. Everyone else is in the same boat, so I still think everyone else should be willing to subvert a little bit. I guess if you looked up
Yeah.
70, the way like you should basically take 70k off every one of these numbers because that's really what you're dealing with. So this isn't 240, this is 170 because you guaranteed 70. Um, and this person's getting what 30, 36. I mean, she's got like 5 picks. Um, so I can see why that, she should still be kind of happy with that. And she has a chance to like spin up. So like this, even though it doesn't, you're only getting a bit more. I don't know what the next ladder was. Like she should be kind of happy with that. But as Damon, I'd probably ask for. I mean, given so like yeah, there's not 956k that you're doing the deal with. You can't deal with that much. So you're basically doing a deal with 850k. I've been given 170. I'd probably say something along the lines of like, I want at least like 270k, and then maybe settle for 260k if that was agreed to, and like
Yeah.
everyone else has to figure out how to get that number to there, and then still play on for the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how you think your edge is in the structure as well, but the ICM edge is kind of implicit. So I'd want, like, basically the deal's getting me 170k as Damon. If I think I've got, 10% edge in ICM, then I should be getting at least another 17k more, right? Which brings it to like 257. And then, yeah, how to gauge those numbers is hard. Like, how much more edge does being a chip leader really give me? I mean, it should be a lot. Everyone should have to, you could just be jamming most hands, raising most hands, everyone has to fold, but the variance is insane. Like in an ideal world, you'd ask for like a lot more and then be happy to not do it. And you'd probably try and sell some of your action. Like if your stack's worth this, you try and like sell 20% for 48k to know, like
Yeah.
lock some up and then play on and take the variance. But you need to know someone that has the bankroll to do that, which is really hard to know. So that is that no deal.
No deal. Yeah.
Yeah, cause see, like this guy Dale is just so easily going to be all in here. Like so, Reamer actually does get allowed a decent amount. He just has to raise call here. His Jax is way too strong on the button. Open jam would be a mistake. I think, yeah, I was going to say actually raising bigger is actually a thing here because he's raising into the chip leader. He's raising a very tight range. You want to get more folds because the chip leader can peel you really wide. And he is already saying by opening, I'm opening a pretty tight range. So I think, yeah, raising big is actually a thing here. It rarely is a thing. And you can see, yeah, like 10-7 suited, he puts a bit more pressure on a hand like this. 10-6 suited probably folds, which is good when he's got ace queen or a hand that's like kind of different. Uh, that's a grim flop. That is a grim flop. I don't mind check. I don't mind. Like imagine you bet one big blind here and get raised. It's the absolute. It's devastation. And if you bet, you're going to be called by the ace and the queen, and then you don't really want to start bluffing off your hand. So I think I'd actually check. I think it's a nice spot to check back. Nice to be protected on the diamonds too, because if it turns a diamond, he might bluff, and you could have an easy call. It's hard for him to just, like, the hand he's got, it's hard for him to just take off, right? If the turn's a brick, is he really going to bluff
Yeah.
us? 10-7 of hearts. And we could always, like, bet small on the turn, or, like, just check it down. I think I saw the hand where Rima busts while I was in there, and I saw it live. I remember it was a sick run out. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a prime
crazy. And also,
example.
like the dynamic of the hand is wild because it's next hand, I think, because Damon's got a slam dunk shove into us two,
Hmm.
which she would have doubled up on, and he doesn't. So it's mad. It's the way it plays out is crazy. It's King Eight, isn't it? Yeah, that to me is like a slam dunk shove into us two.
Yeah, so that's absolute mandatory jam. And
Yeah,
him folding this, he should have done the deal because he's not taking advantage of the being the chip leader. Like this
yeah,
isn't even an advantage. Like this is a hand you'd open the button anyway. But the fact that she's got a micro stack, you've got a short stack. This is exactly what you gain in all your EV because you jam here, and you literally have to fold like king queen. You have to fold maybe even like ace jack.
yeah,
You have to fold here. It's obscene the folds you have to make here. Even if you call a little bit too wide, it's just so many folds, and so he's picking up 2.5 bigs every hand. And like suddenly, like if you double someone up, it doesn't even matter because he's picked up 2.5 bigs 3 or 4 times.
yeah,
And now you just put her all in. She finds king queen suited. So yeah, it should have gone. Yeah, he jams and she calls.
yeah. Crazy.
So
The little
it's cost.
intricacies of poker, right, that just make it crazy,
I mean, he could have
which is
opened
shocked
to
the world.
he could have opened to then fold if you jam and like have to call her as well. I think that's viable because
Yeah,
it's hard for you to jam. Like if you're not because you might have to attack his opens a lot if you're not doing that enough because it's hard to do it with her stack. That could be a viable option as well. You draw the offsuit jack.
yeah.
Yeah, I was watching this. That was sick.
So now the numbers is really interesting because
You're all in
he
bin
again
against
was
him.
like, so they didn't know, but obviously I've got the 20% bonus with GG,
Hmm.
so that massively came into my deal making like strategy. So I think I
No,
ended up taking
that's interesting.
a couple. Yeah, I think I came into like ended up basically to get the deal across the line. I took a couple of, I think I took a couple of K off. Well, I think took 3K off and gave 1,500 to Lewis and 1,500 to Dale to get the deal across the line, which actually meant I locked in 200K because I would get a 33K bonus for the 20% from GG.
Yeah,
So they were like
that's really interesting.
on the fence. Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, they were on the fence, and I was like, "Ah, lads, how about I do this?" And then get it across the line. They were like, "Okay, it's done. It's a very good a very good deal for Damon." But then I'm like, "Okay," they think that I basically locked in more than them two with four left and bottom stack. So
Yeah, I'm not even
I
sure
was pretty happy.
how to think about that. The extra 20%. That's really. It's not something you usually have to think about. Some
No,
extra
exactly,
bonus no one else is going to get.
exactly, crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely worth you. It's more reason for you to get a deal in, and anything near ICM is great, given the stacks. Like Damon should be asking for a lot more than ICM here.
Yeah. So I think he ends up at like 270. Um,
So this was the ICM original
and we all
numbers.
Yeah, and then so if you keep going on, you'll see the way it gets to like the deal done graphic.
Let me I'm gonna take a screenshot of this just to get a contrast, just so I can pull them up side by side.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that because he's not taken so many spots as the chip leader. To me, he's not played like the chip leader yet. Not in any way
Yeah,
that I've seen since he gained it. So it's like the. Do you ever watch Game of Thrones?
yeah,
So it's like there's a Varys quote where it's like power resides where men believe it resides. Like, if you view him as the chip leader, he doesn't need to play like a chip leader. It's the fact that he can. Like
yeah,
he can. He's got the
yeah,
potential to pressure you, or whether or not he's actually going to do it. Like internally, he might be like, I have no idea how to play this stack, like, or like he
yeah, yeah,
doesn't know how to leverage it, or it's just like, I want to, yeah, like the fact that he can is as much of it as matters. So he's got 33k more. What was fourth place before the deal?
fourth place 111.
111. So
So I locked in 200 with this deal because I got 167 plus the 20% is 33,000.
so from your point of view, 111, the ICM would have got you 60, 68, and then you've given 12. So you've given like less than 20%, but you're getting 20% back.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the other said, they all gave him, I think we all gave him like just shy of 10k. And then I've basically just topped them up to get over the line.
yeah, this Dale's getting like close to 10k less, close to 10k less. So yes, you've basically almost like, yeah, you paid like an extra two, is it? Something like this, because he's getting
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an interesting spot. So I think given how I've seen him play the chip lead, I wouldn't have wanted to give up as much. But obviously, the context of, this is a huge tournament, you're locking up an extra 50k potential to play for more, and like you said, the 20% bonus here is huge. Then
Yeah.
it makes a big difference. Although it's cash dollars on GG, so there's some like the EV's probably slightly less than it's worth because you've got to
Yeah.
play for it and there's time and I don't know what the EV with the cash games is and how you play for it. But like there's maybe it's worth like maybe the GG 20% is actually worth 18% or something like that. I don't know how to quantify that. I guess it depends how much you play cash as well. But yeah, I think it's you want to give up a little bit of ICM. And it depends on your confidence in these situations too. Like if you've not played much four-handed with a full ante, if you've not played much in these like ICM situations, and almost no one has, like they might have the same experience as you really, but if you're just not feeling confident and you're just like, it's going to feel horrible if I bust out next when I know I could be getting an extra, in this case, what, 56 plus the 20%.
Yeah.
So you're getting like almost an extra 65 instead because of the 20%. Then, yeah, it's tough. And obviously you've always got the chance to still, then play chip EV. You're more likely to win the
Yeah.
tournament.
Playing on for an extra 88. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify that what playing for the extra does because it's like he's saying, I'm going to hand over the ICM power by, you give me, more than my stack's worth. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
It's nice. I mean, I guess you can't win more than him. Like it'd be nice if you won the tournament, you get the most money. That'd be like a nice gap to have. But I guess in the stack distribution, that wasn't even possible. Uh,
So if I won the tournament, I would have got more than him with the bonus, but not on the actual results visibly.
oh
No.
yeah, I forgot about the bonus again. Then that's a good point.
So if
Yeah,
I'd end up winning
honestly,
it, I would have got 300k basically. Yeah.
I think it's a tough spot. It's hard to negotiate these things as well, especially based on, like you said, if you don't have a Hender mob, like it's less like you suddenly just tell them you're like this online whiz kid that plays hundreds of these spots all the time and you're going to crush them. Give me more money. Like people don't take well to those sort of arguments either, do they? It's almost like you got to gauge how everyone's feeling. Some people are just stubborn.
Yeah.
Like even if they deep down know that they should take less, they won't because they just don't want to. Like they think it's like some it goes against their pride or something. So I'm all for like
Yeah.
be willing to take less if it's the right deal to do. And this stack distribution, I think, is the right deal to do that. And your extra 20% is more reason to do that. Whether or not I would have taken quite that much less, like again, like trying to put myself in your shoes, maybe I would have said like, we'll give you an extra 5k each and settled at 6 or 6.5, and like the way you navigate that is hard, and it might not have worked. Like it might they might have just been like, no, I want at least this. I'm not doing it. I'm the chip leader. Do what you want. Like I'm just gonna grind you all
Yeah.
down. Yeah. So it's a tough one. Tough one when you're playing for so much money because it's like these negotiations. Like really, if you had like someone to represent you here, like a lawyer or like a master
Yeah.
negotiator, like that role could literally be worth so much money in these
Yeah.
moments just to like navigate it perfectly. It's like, my client is equal, my client has a lot of experience in
Yeah.
online poker. I've seen how you play at the bottom where you can get suited there. We think you're a weak shift leader. We're going to ask for another 5k, whatever it is. Like, but you got to say it in a way that doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't trigger them, like make them not want to deal. And I think all of the power of negotiating sometimes is the willingness to say no. So like as soon as you know if they want a deal, in this case you're the one that wants the deal most, unfortunately, because of the extra 20%. Or like you three want the
Yeah.
deal more really because of the dynamics. But the chip leader still doesn't want to deal with the variance. The chip leader still like I'd rather get more than ICM and not have to worry about it if I could. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's very
Yeah.
hard. I need like some sort of simulator for this. Like you don't really. There's no course for that, is there? Like online deal negotiation. I guess it doesn't come up that often too. You can't deal in
No.
some venues. Yeah, I think if the title means something to you as well, this definitely gives you more chance for the title because now you're literally playing winner take all, right? It's just pure chip EV,
Yeah.
and people have a habit of you know forgetting they're still playing for 90,000. So I guess the percentage of the chips in play you've got is on average like what you get of this 88.5 as well.
Yeah.
Because now, yeah, there's no ICM pressure, and then it's like that's how much more you in EV that the deal is still worth as well. What did the commentator say about the deal? It was good, bad, or not?
Yeah. So they said I thought it was quite a good deal. Um, he's obviously loving life, but yeah, I was not disappointed at all. But without the 20%, I would have probably been a lot more stubborn in what I was willing to give away. So it was a really unusual spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Important to take all the context into it because I think like I knew there was someone. I didn't know it was you at the time. I knew there was someone that was like a GG qualifier that was still in, so they can kind of leverage that against you as well, knowing that you want to deal more. Did you not have to wear a patch or anything?
Uh, no, I did. I wore a patch on the second day when they told me I was in the last longer comp.
Oh yeah, I
So
guess
the
you must have
five
won
grand
that.
bonus for the last. And then no, because basically I was direct buy-in. So when you buy in, you get 20% bonus. But they basically told me I was qualified for the last man standing comp as well. And then they came out and just awarded it to this other guy. And I was like, hang on a minute, what about me? And I went, oh yeah, you're direct buy-in, not a satellite. I was like, oh, all
Ah,
right.
rip the patch off and throw it in the bin.
Yeah, yeah, burn it, yeah.
The GG
Pretty
patch was bad
unbelievable
luck for me.
promotion, isn't it?
They came
Say
before
again?
the World Series final table. They came and just went, "Oh, do you want to wear a GG patch?" And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "I don't know. Do you want to just wear one?" Just purely like, like why not? And I was like, "All right, sure." And then I just like busted almost immediately.
Yeah, give us some free advertising, Brandon. Okay.
Yeah, I was too nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this stage of the tournament, now it's GPV, it's almost couldn't be more different.
Yeah, so
But
my strategy here was I'm just going to really open up now. With it being winner takes all, I'm going to just try and put people in spots, try and um, really attack weak lines. That was what my goal was now.
I guess be prepared that you could even just open jam this bucket freeze if you wanted to.
Yeah, not sure I do actually, but yeah,
I think I'd rather fold than min raise it, just because
okay.
it's just not a hand that plays that well when you're only 20 bigs deep. If you jam it, at least it's like you're seeing all the cards. No one can bluff you. No one can defend Jack 7 off and flop a pair. I guess we see that and win. He could check raise his hand actually. Yep, nice hand. I'll skip through these ones a bit faster. Uh, he could limp his hand. Min raise fine. I think you could free bet non all in or jam. Probably should non all in because your hand's so strong. Probably should make it like 22 million or something, but this is fine.
Yeah.
Because yeah, this is like fearless stage now. So like free bet
Yeah.
call all in or free bet play post is fine because there's nothing to worry about. No one's outlast. Ace queen's all in. King ten's gonna fold. He gets queens a lot.
About the 10th time you had queens.
I think king six should definitely be defending the big blind here or free betting like GPV's open cut off. You've got to play that one. So they don't let you do any more deals, right? It's just even if you get heads up, you can't do
No,
more.
just straight out player for it now. Yeah.
Queen jack call. Check. Probably see that. Could check back. Yeah. I'll probably see that this board. Queen jack should probably just start betting and playing for stacks now. Even bet like 15 million, jam the river. You're just going to be against pocket jacks or ace high or like a worse hand too often. Ace king's going to check. And now mandatory river bet. Get greedy. 2/3 or pot. 10. I think you should get greedier. Tough spot for ace king. Not sure what I would do. Yeah, everything I've seen from Damon is he's playing quite quite passive. I mean, like now, obviously, there's more reason to. Um,
Yeah.
I think you could call or raise Jack 8, Ace 9. You should probably ISO, make it like 10 million. Yeah, this Ace 2 off is probably not an open. The King 6 off
Yeah.
would have been a defend. So this is I mean, full anti four-handed, it's okay, but it's like it's pulling a bit looser, whereas the King 6 was it was a fine defend without playing looser. King 10, is he free then? Not sure about this because he's min raised off 11 bigs, so you free betting come in. I think you either want to free bet to fold, which is you just can't really do. So you can peel about everything is open and loose. If not, you should just fold. Ace 10 suited. I have no idea what you should do there. Probably fold because he's committed.
Lewis. Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, Lewis. I mean, Lewis could have open jammed. 11 bigs in the cutoff. It's probably okay in chips actually. I forgot the context a little bit there. But yeah, King 10, peel or fold to the open. Now he has to call because he's priced in. Is he going to drill it? No. So also the free bet was a little bit big as well because he could have
Yeah.
potentially got away from the cold forward jam. And the ace 10 suited, fair play for putting it in because I might have folded that tight open and then committing free bet looks strong. 9-8 off, you could potentially open there. you're the cutoff.
Yeah.
I probably would open, to be honest. Now he plays the 10-8 suited.
Yeah.
Big blind's going to defend. Check, bet small, fold. Wait, you bet 10 million there. He's blasted it. Yeah,
I
that's
think so,
way
yeah.
too big of a bet.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
can literally bet 4 million, 5 million, 6 million. You just don't
Yeah.
need to bet that big. Board's so dry. Ace 3 could. Maybe he can open. It's a lot different to open off this stack depth as well. 10-6 should oh, he's opened big actually, has it? Oh no, he hasn't. Yeah, but 10-6 should defend here because you basically just stop and go now. Like he's calling 4.5 into a pot that's going to be 23 million. How sick of a price is that? And he flops a 10 or a 6, he goes all in, this guy folds. Or he flops a
Yeah.
draw, he goes all in, this guy folds. So you're just mandatory peel. The shorter you are, the more you call. Yeah, that is a pretty big mistake to fold the 10-6 there when you're playing pure chips now. Anything suited, you call there. Anything that can flop a straight, you call there. Anything that's like queen high, you call, like queen 2 off, you'd call there. Well, maybe even like any jack 2 off might be a call there, but 10-6 is really good. Aces, we min raise. The jack 7 off just fold. So he defended with jack 7 off last time when you opened with threes, but now he's folded. Not sure about that. Yeah, you could consider going all in, but I like call. I think this is a nice hand to kind of check back sometimes with a king jack. I would always call 2 overs, open ender, and a backdoor flush draw. Yeah. Guess you got to check. So it's a good time for him to barrel because he's got a club as well. Make you fold 1 pair a lot. If you get jammed on, you have to fold. I think he should bet bigger. What are your thoughts on the turn?
And that raising this turn because of his bet sizing. Yeah, with the heart as well. I just thought I'm going to raise and be able to have a lovely sized jam on a lot of rivers. So that was my thought process here.
That's really nice. I was actually going to say, like, I think you've now priced in that you can't fold. I wasn't thinking raise, but I think that's actually pretty nice. If you just read into the sizes weak, which it looks weak. It looks like, why is he not trying to play for stacks if he's got something good? You have to raise really small here. And it looks so strong. I think there's a really cool play, actually. A lot of people wouldn't find this. And now he's absolutely in the bin. I don't know what he's supposed to do, whether he's getting the right price. Looks like you don't have bluffs, but yeah, I can see why he folds. It looks like you just have a straight. Yeah, you got to go all in. If he had a little bit more, he could min raise. This is a cool spot where you actually check back with queens a lot, and it's because if he has ace high or king high, he just goes all in. So our queens are effectively like aces. Like there isn't an overcard, and he's just got loads of napkins, like loads of hands where we got an overpair to his 2 unders. So you could like min raise or do like something like that, try and price him in and make the SPR a bit lower. But when the stat to pot ratio is that low, your hand's too good to go all in. He's just gonna fold too much. So I'd like to see either like tiny raise, and I mean to like less than 10 million, or a check. I think check is probably slightly better. Yeah, 10 million. I'd probably go a touch smaller, but it's fine. I guess Chippy V maybe like as an argument 7-5 is supposed to call that raise, but it doesn't look like a bluff. People are supposed to find a lot of bluffs there. I'd probably open the 10-7 suited. You can see why he folded
Yeah, I was on the fence there.
with
Yeah,
those two
I was on
stacks.
the fence there.
It's just a big
Yeah.
ante. Queen 6 has got to play in the smaller. This is again like people just not adjusting properly. There's nothing for fourth, there's nothing for third, there's nothing for second. You got 10 bigs with Queen 6 playing with a full ante. It's just either a raise fold, a limp, or a jam. 100%. You'd never fold Queen high here. Yeah, I get that's another really good thing about the deal. If you can adjust better, because people are playing way too tight still, then you can gain even more EV in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis is playing way too tight when it's chip EV. See, this is going to be a min raise or an all in. I might just go all in. 10 bigs on the button. Yeah, the fact he's min raising, this is more of an ICM type of play. Like let's navigate, let's get away. But for chips, it's like my hand's good enough. I don't want to let you realize your equity. I'm happy to take that in the pot. I guess you have to fold the 3-2. So yeah, I think Lewis is still playing too much ICM.
Yeah.
Which is the reason kind of not to do the deal really, as Lewis. So if your ICM game's strong and you're not adjusting to this situation, Damon should min raise. You should probably call. I think you could maybe free that. No, I think this is way too tight. Folding Jack 10 lets button open. But yeah, it feels like everyone's in the same boat.
I didn't want to call. I was like basically like deliberating. I was deliberating 3-bet. I nearly did 3-bet, but yeah.
Yeah, feels fine. Just because you're getting such a good price, it's effectively like remember the old ante system when everyone used to throw in like 10 to 12.5% of the big blind. There's 25% of a big blind. Effectively, the way you'd view it as the ante. There's a whole big blind and only 4 players. So your price is really good. You have to kind of get involved and get in the mix a lot here. It's like, and his button range is really wide. Like I mean, as you can see, you've got him crushed. He has Jack 8 offsuit. He has like Jack 5 suited. As it happens, you've saved money because he would have gone all in. And now it's got to fold. You should probably just open jam. If they've both got less than 15 bigs, yeah, you should just open jam. There's just nothing to worry about. Like your jam's profitable, your A7 doesn't play great. A7 suited, I might min raise, but it's awkward if you get jammed on then, so I might even jam that.
I think I was raising with the intention to call there.
It's a little bit loose. I might need like an ace-9 or an ace-8 to start doing that, but I think that's fine. Raise call if you think they're playing too loose. I think Lewis is playing too tight. Maybe you didn't know that yet. Tricky spot for 10-7 of diamonds, whether he calls or raises. I'd probably raise. All in is maybe a little bit big. Maybe he wants to raise because you only put in 4. You put in a really small bet.
Yeah.
And good going. Like you could have seen bet bigger here. You've got a nice the ace of diamonds is a nice blocker. You got good barrels. So you've lost them in here, but I think he should raise smaller.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a draw when he just puts it all in. But maybe he can have a queen. Easy all in. He should have just opened jammed. He's only playing 13 bigs. Ace-8 should have just opened jammed. And now he's in a spot where well, like you said, you were raise calling the ace-7. Let's see if he's raise calling the ace-8. I think for chips, it's too strong. Yeah. Could limp, could raise with the queen six. Too small of a raise. You don't want to close to min raise. Blind v blind, you give them a sick price. 6-5, now you have to call. I think I like bet with the queen six. He's got good suits. He blocks your queen x of diamonds, your like 6x of spades. He blocks your 6-5, 6-7, even though you've got 6-5. He's got good barrels, even though the barrels that are good for him would actually be bad for him here, because he might barrel like a 2 or a 5 or a 7. But you can barrel spades, you can barrel diamonds, he can make you fold queen high. Yeah, I think I would just start with a bet with the queen six. It's a bit awkward facing a
Yeah.
bet. And then I don't mind either. I think your check's pretty reasonable. That is a horrible turn, given the hands you've got. Bet seems fine. You just always call in. Yeah, you could go for a small bet with the queen six. Could go for like 10 million or less. Little thin value bet. Yeah, I think people miss these value bets a lot, but it's really hard for you to have a better hand. You mainly bet a king on the flop. You don't really have like ace six. You probably go all in pre. So unless you have exactly what 9x of spades that didn't bet the flop, or 6-9, but he's got a six. Like I think mainly you have a hand like a
Yeah.
worse six or a 3 or a 4. The occasional maybe like queen high spades, which is still like a hand that you could consider calling with queen high on the river. So I think he should value bet. Just bet small on the river. Uh, you should probably limp. All in's probably okay. Oh, I remember this hand. Yeah, this there's a big mistake in this hand if I remember correctly. So with
Yeah, I
pocket
limped how
sixes,
many folded sixes?
yeah, so pocket sixes is a really strong hand here. The thing is, you haven't jammed, so when you don't jam, you don't have pocket twos through to pocket fives because you'd have gone all in. You don't have ace two to ace five, you'd have gone all in. So your limps is like middling hands or like traps and really strong hands. So with sixes, there isn't that much to induce from. Like unless he raises and you go all in with, like king two, maybe you should have gone all in with that in the first place. But like these sort of hands don't really exist. So like sixes, you've got to recognize your hand's too good because you're against less than 15 blinds. You can either just go all in, which is a good play. That's going to work out well. He makes you fold two overs. If he raises, he can't fold to the all in. His hand's too good. You've just got too much equity,
Yeah.
and it's annoying if he runs into sevens through to aces sometimes, and the limp jam would look really strong. But if you're planning to raise fold, you should just go all in with this hand. Well, like his hand's the same as 6-2 offsuit if he's planning to raise fold it.
Would have been the fakest of flips.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did you limp jam here?
So he was, I don't want to say too much, he was a good player, but he had I thought, and it worked out pretty well. I thought I had a live read on him on how he was looking at me in certain places when he didn't want action. And I followed, and every time I followed that through, it worked out in my favor. So,
I mean, it was right
effectively,
here, so
did you hear that? Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, so effectively it was a bit of I want to protect my limping range, and I want to try and keep him from putting me off the weaker part of my range when I limp by raising. So it was, and I was using that read as well. So as I said, it's one of those live things that, when I watched the hand back, couldn't believe he had sixes, obviously, but a bit of a dynamic that I sort of trusted my gut and the read I had.
I mean, I can't argue with it when it worked. But yeah, as Lewis, just either check back if you don't want to run it, or just jam. The raise fold's like it's like a half measure with too much equity. Yeah, winner take all. So there's nothing nothing to survive around. You can open jam this hand, or you can raise. You got like 19 bigs. He should fold. He could possibly free bet fold this hand. He could make it like 24 million, something like that. Fold to your all in. But I think fold is the default play. 20 million, it's pretty cheap. And then I think it's a pretty tough spot as you. I would lean towards fold, but I don't hate sending it in sometimes if you just don't believe him. And good read this time. Ten eight suited and queens, every other hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, just way too small of a raise. Like there's a full ante, you're getting a stick price. It doesn't do much. It just gives you an easy time. When someone just min raises, should be opening to like 3 to 4 bigs. Yeah, you have an easy call with king 7. I think you could check all bet 10 8 of diamonds, choose your own adventure. You probably just want to try a showdown. Why are you betting the flop?
Say again?
Why are you betting the flop with the king 7?
Trying to get away a lot of his middling hand. I don't want to continue. Hoping to maybe check back the turn for free. So that was my reasoning there. But yeah, I know it's hard to rep much on that board.
The thing is, you can do some of these kind of mergy bets. It's just awkward because he's going to check call with like king 10, king queen, ace high. Or like, fair enough, he's got a worse hand this time. Like he's going to have 10 8, queen 10, some flush draws you're ahead of. I mean, he might check raise actually. I don't know yet. You don't really get any better hands to fold. Like, if he's got king high or ace high, he's not folding. But if he's got 7 6, he's folding. If he's got king 2, he's probably folding. So you don't. It's nice to have the king of spades. That's like nice interaction. And the 7, I guess, interacts a bit with some of his 9 7, jack 7, 10 7. Like kind of some merits to the cards. But if he's got nothing, making him fold is a win. But you've also got a showdown. Like there's a chance where you check to the river and you just beat queen high or king high, or like you turn a king and he bluffs into you. I guess if you hit a 7, it's not that great, but it's more like there's other ways to navigate this hand. So given that all he's done is min raise pre, your range is ridiculously wide. You've got like 70% to 90% of hands. There's just too many hands which are like what you could take a stab with, like 8 of diamonds, 6 of spades, because what else is that hand going to do? It's got backdoors. It's going to try and make involve queen high and king high, and maybe it barrels. This hand, like, and those hands never win at showdown. Or like a hand like 10 2 of spades to 10 6 of spades is probably a reasonable one to bet. Good backdoors, achieve some stuff, interact with some stuff. Maybe even queen of diamonds 7, a hand like that. Maybe that's a reasonable one as well. Don't know if he's going to raise or call. Looks like he's going to raise. Yeah, this is part of the danger. If he was check raising, you've not realized your equity or not got to showdown. I mean, you probably weren't going to win this hand. Let's be honest. Like, unless you turn a king and he doesn't get there, he's probably going to bluff the turn. You're just going to fold anyway. But if the turn's a 9, if the turn is a queen, I guess you could. No, that's bad actually. He's got a straight. I mean, you can. Yeah, a 7 or a queen's actually really bad for you in this case. He's actually got the hand that really kills you as it happens. Yeah, I mean, you're just not going to win this hand, to be honest. If the turn's an ace, maybe sometimes you can call a bet because then your king high feels a lot nicer. But then, yeah, sometimes it just gets there anyway. So
yeah,
I probably just would have gone into showdown and let him have it if he was aggressive.
Yeah,
but you might have turned a king of diamonds and lost 2 bets. Wouldn't open queen 3, ace 8. You can just jam. You can raise call. You can limp jam. You basically you're playing for stacks. You got 20 bigs blind v blind with ace 8. Just the best way of navigating that. You go for the raise. He's gonna call. He's folded king 7 to a raise. Oh my god. Yeah, you can't fold king 7 to a raise blindly blind, especially at full ante. So I really think Lewis is still very much in ICM headspace. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's playing so tight when it's winner take all. Yeah, king. If I wasn't going to call king 7, I would free bet it. It's a nice hand to free bet bluff. Blind v blind, I think it's just too much hand though. You could open the button with king 4 if you're feeling it. You think they're playing too tight. Ace 8. He could limp. Same with you really. Limp jam raise. Jam. I think jam's okay, but it stops. Like he can fold ace 2, ace 3, ace 4 if you jam, or like some
Yeah.
hands that he doesn't like. If you limp, he might have raised 8-2 and then we limp jam on him. So I think open jam. I'd rather have ace 2 off or pocket 2s, like a hand that can't do much else. Ace 8 feels a little bit strong in the open jam, but it's definitely going to be fine. Don't get to play out of position. Pick up 2.5 bigs. King queen should raise. He's raised. He's gone bigger, 2.5x. Not sure why he's gone so big. And now you have to fold. But if that's min raise, you could have called.
Yeah.
E7, he's going to raise. I mean, there's an argument for just open jam when you've both got 20. I think maybe you've got slightly too much. But yeah, A7 could just open jam there as well. That would be a fine play. We've achieved the same. 8-5 suited, maybe you could raise that one, but fold's okay. Ace-5 off, he should open. Ace-king, you should just go all in. Nice. King 10, you should maybe just go all in. Bit of an awkward stack depth. Yep. It's just a bit awkward if you raise face a jam or if you limp face a jam. King 3 suited, you should min raise. Yeah, that's fault's too tight. King 3 suited on the button. And you would have run into it, because it would have gone jam and then maybe king queen folds. So the whole butterfly effect of the tournament could have changed if he min raised this one as well. I think it would have gone ace 9 jam, king queen fold, you fold. So
All I was thinking here was, wow, king queen, I'm heads up here. What a spot. But wasn't to be.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Like, you go to no ante heads up. So I almost like I want 3-handed to go on for as long as possible. Like I'd rather try and
I didn't know
accumulate
that.
more chips.
It's at 90, of course.
In a Grosvenor's, yeah.
Okay.
Which I've always thought it seemed like a big jump. Goes from full ante 3-handed to no ante heads up. I think it should go to like half ante, 4 or 5 left, and then maybe stay half ante heads up.
Yeah.
So the pace of play goes right down. 10-8 should open the button. So that's way too tight of a fold. 3-handed with a full ante, GPV. Jack 8 should either limp or raise. He's probably going to do the min raise thing he does. 12. Oh, he's raised bigger now, a little bit bigger. I think that's fine. I think your 9-7 should call. You're in position, 7 into 29. Your card's alive. Yep. Nice call. Both players don't have an ace very often. A bit suspicious when he checks. I think he should probably just bet the flop. And I guess you could bet the flop. Check seems okay. I'd be a bit suspicious as well. I think you got to start betting the turn though once he checks twice. Just protection, and like he's either done with it. He might have pocket sixes. He might have a worse 7. If he has a better hand, like we'll find out. He's not really going to find a check raise bluff. I'd just bet for protection dash value, and like definitely. No, he's betting the river. I think he's kind of got. I don't know. This is a weird hand. I feel like he's kind of got showdown. Like you might be able to call with king high on the river. So there's only really queen high he's trying to make fold, and you can just have a pair. What's his sizing? He's gone kind of big. He's gone half pot. Yeah, I would just call the river. I think there's an argument for value raise in your hand, but I think he's gone a little bit too big. If he bet like 6 million, I'd value raise the river. But you've won more than I would have because you induced a bluff. Just was the risk of him getting there.
Yeah.
You should call the small blind. You could free bet. You can free bet fold this as well. But I would just call because you crush a lot of hands. Yep. Nice call. I thought you were going to fold after folding the Jack 10.
Yeah. This is a really interesting hand. It's a really interesting river.
That's small call, seems fine. I'd say you called pretty fast there. I'd be, in my mind, that's already making me think probably not a set, probably not a flush.
Okay.
Sometimes you want to lead spots like this, but here, like, you don't really have 5-6 suited. You don't necessarily have ace-5. It doesn't actually change that much. You're more connected to the board because you're small blind, but you didn't check raise. You might have check raised if you had a big hand, so I think I would just check the turn. I can see why you lead. I think I would have just checked. Just played in flow. That is a weird river.
So in my mind
As
here, I was really torn between shove or check, and I didn't think he was as strong as he was, and I thought he had loads of missed clubs. So I checked to induce, but I was really torn between shoving this river and checking.
yeah, I think you could always bet small as well because you need him to score with worse than a 10. So going for the whole 72 is it's kind of hard for him to call. So I think betting like third part or like 32 million, 40% part, that sort of range is still like then you get called more from if he has a 9 or a pocket pair. But I think check is okay. But if you've got like a 9, I think check call the river makes more sense because there's less to get value from. But with a 10, it's like he can have all the 9x and he can have pocket pairs and he might even call the river if he just doesn't believe you. If he's got ace king with a club or something. You could have like ace 4, ace 3, ace 2. Quite a few hands which are like not going to reopen the action. But yeah, you can have like king of clubs, 8, king jack with a club.
Yeah.
So I think there's merit in check call the river, but there's a lot of hands you can get value from as well. But yeah, I think that the turn lead is a little bit strange there. Like you don't really improve that much on the free. Like you're kind of dense medium strength because you've called the flop. You'd probably raise the flop with a set or a flush at least sometimes.
Yeah.
We raise. So yeah, 9-5 should defend. People playing too tight. Jack 9, he could limp. Raise seems okay. You should. Yeah, I think you can call. Yep, good call. He should probably check. That's probably okay. Bit mergy. Easy fold for you. You should just. Oh, actually, we're a bit deeper. We're a bit deeper. Yeah, I think you should limp jam, and then he should jam or check. That's the problem with his hand is it's like it's too much hand to raise fold, and it's not enough hand to raise call.
Yeah.
So you go all in, and yeah, I guess he has to fold. Yeah, no, I like the limp jam. Ace 5, I think he should check back or just jam because then yeah, fold 4s. Oh, you could gamble if he jams like 23 bigs there. You could call with 4s if he wanted to.
This is a weird spot. I still don't know what to do here. I think I was right, but
Min raise and then call if the small blind jams. You should probably call. Yeah, you should just call. 3, that's probably okay, but what's he done there? He's made it 17 million. Is that a misclick?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was looking forward to jamming on him again.
Yeah, that you don't. That's the thing in Chippy V, and I understand no one's really calibrated properly to the fact it's Chippy V, but you don't you don't really like you don't really free bet non all in out of position. You just go all in because you're not trying to survive. You're not trying to navigate. You're just like, there's 4.5 bigs in the pot. Give me those 4.5 bigs. It increases my stat by over 20%. So what he's done here is one, he's giving you a sick price in position, so you don't really get to fold anything, and there's no reason for you to play tighter because it's chips. And he's actually got a hand where he wants fold equity. He doesn't want you to call with Queen 5 suited. He's got Jack 10 off. And if he calls, he still has he has some hands crushed. He's getting a good price. Like, if you do free bet bluff, which I'm not saying if you got aces, maybe. I mean, maybe you should flat, but if you want to construct a free bet non all in range, aces, kings, ace king suited, sure. But I think you need to make it at least like 25 to 29 million.
Yeah.
Ace king's just got an easy jam, and then you've got an easy fold. Yeah, you just got to fold here because the small blind's uncapped. If it was you open, small blind call, big blind jam, then I think you can gamble. But once
Yeah.
he's basically got in the way of it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Was the bonus in GG account same time as the payout? Yeah, I think have you got the GG bonus yet? I saw a few people asking when they were going to get
Next
that.
couple of days. No, next couple of days. I got an email today.
Yeah, I'm sure that must be a nightmare for admin with so many people getting paid the like 100 to 500s mostly. 10-6 suited, could open the button. You just got to play a lot of hands when it's full ante. You could even construct a limp range if you wanted to. The button seems fine there. I'd probably just stick it in his eye. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I didn't realize you got to a nice little chip lead stage here. Shame there's no ICM pressure to put on them. Although apparently you can ICM pressure them.
Apparently so.
I think I don't like the raise size here.
Yeah, too small.
Same.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think you chose a bigger size earlier. You made it 11 at 4 earlier. You folded King 7, but now it's just it's not the hand to give him a good price to. Like, you can make an exploit smaller size sometimes, but you want queens, ace queen suited, like a hand that doesn't mind it. 5-4 off definitely does not does not want him to call.
Yeah, it's a mistake. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, too
So I
small.
think I'd just limp. I'm all for a C bet if you want to C bet though. You're kind of out the way of a lot of cards. You gotta be blasting this one off a lot though, because he doesn't really have an ace. You gotta be willing to blast off there. Probably just min raise. No, no.
I'm surprised. I don't know why I folded that. That's really weird. I'm watching that going, oh, I must min raise this, and that surprises me.
Well, it's been everyone. It's not. It's definitely not you here. It's every single player has made way too tight of a fold from almost every position at some point. Before and after the deal. Obviously, it's just more exaggerated now because it's chips. But yeah, that's a good hand. That's a really good hand. He should probably just. I think he can go all in because it's chip EV, but he would have been called. King 4 suited. Seems like an okay check versus a limp, but versus all in probably has to call. Probably just bet one big blind. King 4's probably supposed to float. I'm probably going to check again now. He's 6-5 because you're just dead versus calls. Wait for the river to bluff. But I would have probably bet the flop. 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush. And now you just got to bluff. You're too low in your range, and There's too many ways you can have a pair. Probably just bet like 10 million. Try and say you've got a jack or an 8. I think I'd bet a little bit bigger. King high might hear a call now. See, people just do not believe the check, 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 check line. Another really big reason for betting the flop. You got the leverage that you might bet the turn. You might like all these other things might happen, and you can like barrel the turn a lot with your hand there. He could open jam. Probably should limp. He lives a raise. Actually, oh no, it's 5. It's 5 million big blind. I thought it was 6 million. Yeah, I think raise is fine there. Limp's fine. He's got queens again.
Again.
That's
It's
unreal.
crazy, isn't it? I think I'm 4 or 5 times on the final table.
Yeah. I think that was another tight fold. Yeah, queen. I think queen for alpha. You got to. You could limp or jam. You just can't really fold in chips when there's a whole ante out there and you've got 10 bigs. Limp, like raise, fold, or jam, probably all on the table. King 6, probably fold. Maybe you could min raise that one. Ace queen.
This is the killer.
He's gonna raise. He loves a raise. Probably makes it 12. Yeah. You've got ace jack. Oh, so what I really hope you don't do is go all in. Whether or not all the chips go in or not. At the moment, like when he raises, like he's shown he's raising a lot of hands. Ace jack suited is a really good hand. Like we're absolutely crushing him. He's got ace x and jack x and all sorts, but we need to kind of make sure we keep crushing him, no matter which node we bring him into. If we free bet, he can still continue with hands that we crush. He can still call with queen jack and ace 10 and some suited aces and some other hands. So we know if we free bet non all in, if we make it like 30 to 35 million, we can get value and we're in position. So that's good. If we free bet non all in and we face an all in, we need to then know in advance what are we going to do. Do we think he's got bluffs? If he's able to bluff enough, which I haven't seen evidence of yet, to be honest, we have to call. If he's not, we're then in this horrible spot where we free bet and we're faced an all in, and it's like, well, what if he's got pocket sixes? What if he's got ace 10? What if he's got king queen? Maybe we have to call it off. So I'm not sure if I want to free bet get this in because we're just under 30 bigs deep. It's like right on that threshold where we need him to have a lot of bluffs to free bet get it in, and I don't want to free bet fold a hand so good. So what's the other option? All in. The problem with all in, unless he has exactly ace 10, and even ace 10 offsuit, it's pretty hard to call. Fair enough, there's some hands are flips. Maybe king queen suited calls. Maybe ace 9 suited calls. But there's a lot of ace queen. There's a lot of ace king. There's a lot of flips that we don't necessarily have to be in, or we don't necessarily have to take. When you go all in, you give up the fact you're in position, which is a massive advantage you get in this whole hand. So yeah, I'm actually team call. If you were slightly more shallow, if you're like less than 20 bigs deep, I would probably free bet non all in to call, because I'm like, if say Levy, it's less than 20. But when it's like 29 blinds, it's a lot of chips to run into it sometimes, and it's a lot easier for me to say because I can see he's got ace queen. But even if he had ace 10 suited here, I'd be thinking, it's dicey for him to get that many chips in blind v blind. So yeah, I wouldn't. I'd much rather you jam with like pocket twos here, because it's like, what else is pocket twos going to do? Ace jack suited, you call, you're in position, you're having a great time. You flop a backdoor flush draw, you flop a gut shot to the nuts, you flop top pair, you flop, like all these things happen. You're pretty much always seeing a turn. There's not really many flops you don't call a c bet with ace jack of diamonds. So yeah, I think if you had ace jack offsuit, I think it would be closer. I think I would still lean call, but it doesn't quite play as nicely. But you need to know he's calling, like literally the same thing we spoke about earlier. You need to know he's calling with at least say like 2 hands that you dominate. If he's not calling with ace 9 off, are you really getting any value from your all in, or are you going to get more value from call?
Yeah, you get more value from the call. I get that.
Eights jam earlier on the final table is exactly the same thing. He's jamming eights. If he's not getting called by sevens and sixes, is it a good jam?
Yeah.
And then how much you want to trade off there is up to you, because obviously, if you jam with ace king, you get called by plenty of worse hands. So like if you call pre, the flop it either goes check check or he bets you call. You turn a flush draw, so it probably goes check check on the turn, and then check check river. And don't get me wrong, like the all in is going to make money. It's going to make chips. You've got a really good hand. He's put in 2.5 bigs. You're putting in 28 bigs to win, an extra 4.5. Like it's definitely going to be profitable, no matter how you look at it. I just don't think it's the optimal way to navigate it.
Yeah.
That's basically the main factors. Like you've thrown away position.
I'll be really honest, Brandon. I'll be really honest. There was a lot of in my mind is like I've been going hyper aggressive at three-handed. Maybe I'll do this and get called really light. And there's also a lot of just like adrenaline because I'm like, so yeah, you can see I'm not taking as long over probably spots as I should. It's just a very unique situation for me, and I guess as you watch this back, there's a few lines you go, just take a bit more time, mate.
Yeah, like I've been learning more about like breath work and how that interacts with your mind and your feelings, your emotions, and some of it you can almost trick your body into feeling differently. Like it makes complete sense. This is a really high adrenaline spot. It's almost like a once in a lifetime spot in terms of tournaments. That not many people will be
Yeah.
in this situation. Like I do want to give that caveat. All the analysis I'm giving here is from me, sitting at home very calmly from my desk. Like I've got no emotional attachment to these decisions. It's really easy for me to be like, well, this is objectively what you should probably do. But in the moment,
Yeah.
yeah, you do get these feelings of like I haven't won a hand in a while, or like I've lost too many pots, or like they think I'm aggressive, and there's all these extra dynamics which you feel out a lot more, and like you always have your internal emotions to feel out as well, which is why yeah people end up acting too fast sometimes because they almost don't want to sit with that feeling of like it's on me and like my heart's racing. What do I do? People are trying to rush through it, but the more you do, take a few deep breaths, slow it down, like calm yourself down, the more your thoughts slow down, the more you can make better decisions, or at least less emotionally attached decisions, which usually people would agree is like the better decision to make in the moment. Doesn't mean that it's bad to be emotional. That's naturally going to be part of it. That's inevitable. Same as like the way you feel after losing that big pot, like you can't. That's not going to go away. You're going to feel physically different right now, and that means that your thoughts are going to be different for at least a little bit. Whether or not that means you punt it off or you play too tight, or like who knows how you actually react in terms of your strategy. Maybe it doesn't affect your strategy at all, and you just feel different. But that is part of what poker is, and you've been good at reading into other people's versions of that too. So there's always going to be pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being able to take, there's no shot clock here as well. Like even just saying to yourself, I'm going to wait 10 to 15 seconds before every decision. You don't want to take the piss. Like some people do take too long, and like in most situations, like I don't like if you got an easy fold, sure, snap fold. But let's say like once you've decided you're going to play the hand, once you've decided that you're going to
Yeah.
see bet, just take in that extra 10 seconds because it's basically free time.
Yeah. Completely agree. It's such
And
good advice and something I will obviously utilize going forward.
yeah, and I can see why you like ace jack suited blind v blind this many like it's a really good hand and it's an easy mistake to make. I think that and like mistakes even too strong a word. Like it's not your play is not losing. It's not losing play. It's not a punt. It's just a different way to navigate it. And yeah, like he could have just had nothing unfolded, or he could have had pocket tens and you won the flip, or he could have had ace ten and called, or king queen suited and called, or like maybe he would have like made some punt called queen ten suited, which I mean I don't know. Like nothing would surprise me at this point after watching this Goliath. So yeah, I think he should be. I don't know. Should he open? He's the big blind 6 million now. Maybe you should min raise the queen nine there and have to cycle you off. You've got three and a half bigs. Oh no, you should probably just jam, or like raise to call you, fold to the big blind, or just jam queen nine off on the button there. You should jam ace four.
I think he folds. He folds, yeah, big blind.
3-2, yeah.
Yeah, 3-2 off, yeah. This is the final one.
So he goes all in. He calls. Oh, he called Queen 9 here.
So
I think.
exactly, yeah. So exactly, it's exactly the sort of exactly the spot that I thought it was. I thought their ranges were so wide, and I've got like 3, 4 bigs because I've got the big blind and the ante in now, and I thought if I fold here, I'm literally down to like 2 big, what we at 6-12 with placing the blind next. So I'm basically in next hand. I thought if they're as wide as I think I am, and I'm live here, I've got like 90 million chips, and I'm really active heads up. So that was my thought process, and they had the hands I was hoping they would have. So yeah, that was my thought process. It was a really weird spot because we're obviously playing winner pays all. Obviously, we're playing normal payouts. You just fold every day of the week. But I was looking at giving myself the best chance to win it.
Honestly, I don't know what the calling range is supposed to be here as you. Like we could just look at your pot. So you're calling 22.5 to win, 28.5 times 3. Add the big blind ante. So it's like close to 90 million, is it? Yeah, I think it's just over
Yeah, not a
22.5 to
million.
win. You're getting 3 to 1. You need 25%. Look how much percentage you've got here. You're absolutely mega
Yeah,
printing in this call in practice. It's just how often are you dominating? And if you are, it can't ever be that bad. Basically, like I'd probably rather have like if you've got Queen 9 suited, I'm in all day. Like let's gamble.
yeah,
If you've got any pair, if you've got Ace High, I mean maybe Ace High's crushed more, but sometimes they both have. I mean, I don't know. It's. I'm not really good at these spots to be honest. Like equity free ways. I think these are hard to get your head around because like Lewis's jam range has got like Broadway hands, Ace Highs, pairs, the occasional like Jack 9 suited, 10-9 suited. So you need to play reasonably versus that. And obviously the call, he's ahead of that range. So he's got Ace 8's probably one of the worst hands he calls with. He's probably got King Jack suited, King Queen off, Ace 8 off, Ace 5 suited maybe, and then like pocket fives. So I don't know. I feel like you're in a very fortunate situation. Like this is like the best case scenario by a million miles, obviously, and you're 42%. But what's the worst case scenario? Let's say they've got like pocket tens and ace queen. Like I guess that's
yeah.
actually that's like really horrible actually. Let's say like they've got maybe ace queen and pocket sixes. Then
Yeah.
what actually is your equity? I don't know. I don't like. It's probably close to 25%, and that's all we need. Um, yeah, there is like
Yeah, the guy on commentary was like, oh, I don't know what I do here as Johnny. Like they were exactly the same as you. So he
it's
goes,
tough.
maybe I do run it. Maybe I do spin it, So it literally was exactly as I thought, and 90 million compared to 2 bigs against, hundreds of millions. I just thought gave me a real chance to actually come back as opposed to pretty much being dead.
Yeah, I can't blame you for the call here, but I think like queen two off would be a fold. Queen five off would be a
Yeah,
fold.
yeah,
Queen maybe even queen eight would be a fold. Queen and then like queen five suited. Maybe that plays better. Well, I honestly
yeah,
don't know. It's probably fine lines, but yeah, worst case scenario. I mean, I can quickly literally look. I've got like an equity thing on my
yeah. It'd
phone.
be really interesting.
So you've got queen of diamonds, nine of spades. So let's say I'm going to give the first guy, what was the ones I said before? Pocket tens. Second guy, ace queen. Say ace queen offsuit. Your equity against pocket tens and ace queen, just trying to give them random suits, is okay. It's 8%. It's actually a lot less than I thought. So yeah, that's pretty horrible. Because it's almost like two sides. So like the best case is you're 17% above what you need because it's 25, right? And the worst
Yeah,
case is you're 17% below. So that kind of balances out, the best and the worst case. Okay, what if they've got pocket tens and ace king suited? Then you've got 19.7%. So then you're still losing. Uh, what if they've got king jack suited and pocket sixes? then you've got 27.6. So you're making a little bit. Weirdly, my gut was fold, and then I saw your equity and was like, man, I guess we can't fold given that we can have this much equity. But then looking at some of that, now I'm thinking it is a fold again. But it's so close. Like, it's so
Such a weird
close.
spot, isn't it?
Like, yeah, yeah. It's hard because I guess could have like even ace two off here, and like that he's got there's so many ace eight, ace nine, ace. Well, I guess ace nine's bad. Ace eight, ace ten, ace jack, ace king. Like, I feel like the queen's crushed a lot, and the nine is crushed decent amount of the time.
Mm.
I mean, if I had the time, I could probably run it in like a proper solver and the perceived ranges and literally see our equity. Do like, in fact, I don't think I've still got Equilabs on this computer. I haven't used Equilabs in years.
What do you do with like? What do you do with like
No.
6-7 suited?
Well, that hand just feels a lot better, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
more like the okay. Let's compare again the worst case scenario. So 6-7 suited, because just 6-7 suited against aces has got like 21. Got like the most equity
yeah,
you can have. So
yeah,
if they've got ace king offsuit and pocket eights, well, let's say pocket tens again. So that's like two really strong hands.
yeah.
Your 6-7 suited has got 23%. So it's just like the worst
Wow.
case scenario is so much better.
Yeah,
Which so yeah, like the suited connectors are amazing here. 4-5 suited, 6-7 suited, like live cards basically. Because they're pretty dense. They're just two big cards, like ace queen, ace jack, king queen, ace ten. Like just two cards between a ten and an ace that they're both mainly going to have. So even 9-8 suited feels like it's out of the way enough where it's like it's gonna, even though it would have been crushed here, like it's gonna do better. Um,
yeah,
and they've all got really good equity against ace highs too. Obviously, sometimes you're crushed, but like you could have just been crushed here too, right? If you just happen to have ace nine or happen to have ace queen, but it feels like they're crushed maybe as often, maybe slightly less by the ace highs, and then like they're just way more live against the two big cards, which is mainly what both of the players are going to have.
yeah,
So yeah, it might even be like a hand like ace two off might just be a fold in your shoes, but then 6-7 suited's a call, which is
yeah,
kind of weird. I
yeah.
think all the
That makes a
pairs
lot of sense.
you probably have to call all your pairs. I think they run into two non-paired hands too often, or like yeah, pairs have still got close to 20% against over pairs. So yeah, I'd say you never fold twos. You never fold a suited connector. I guess you never fold a suited Broadway because the times it's live as well or it's playing fine enough. And then even like Queen 10 off, like I guess you call, but it doesn't feel amazing because the other times you're dead, you're
Yeah,
really dead. You're just crushed more. So I don't know. That was kind of a fun one to think more about though. Yeah,
yeah, really
suited
cool.
connectors. I guess suited aces as well. Maybe they play
Yeah,
well enough, but that's a hard like ace five suited here. I guess I would have put it in, but again, you're going to be crushed a lot of the time. You just got enough equity. What do you reckon? Ace five suited equity against ace king off and pocket tens.
12%.
15.6.
Oh, I was gonna say 15 originally.
So I think
Yeah,
that's probably the one of the main aspects of this is like how bad is the worst case scenario? So how much do you need to make up for? And
yeah.
like having to be fair, I was quite surprised by that you only have 8% in the against tens and ace queen, but I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I guess that's, I mean, spoiler alert, this is the last hand.
And obviously, I'm sitting the hands. I'm like, okay, this is 91.5 million if I bink this, but wasn't to be.
It's a nice situation. I guess there's some future game in if you don't really know how to play three bigs, six bigs, seven bigs, these sort of stacks, and it's no anti heads up, then a lot of the time you're going to make big mistakes off those stacks. So get into a stack where you're more comfortable as well. There's some value in that.
And there we have it.
So he got £20 more than first place, right? It's pretty sick.
So he locked. So it was 365, I think, originally was first place. So he locked in what?
Yeah, he got £20
Three.
more than first.
Yeah. £20. Sorry, yeah. We said 20 grand. £20.
Oh God,
Yeah.
no, that'd be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
was pretty insightful. So I feel like I couldn't predict what most people were going to do in most spots. Like it was it's difficult, and that is like at least at low to mid stakes. That's a lot of what poker is. Like you really don't know how someone else is thinking about a spot, and if you can't predict how they're going to think, then you can make bigger mistakes, especially when you're kind of winging it, like going outside the box. It's hard.
Yeah. And it's been super insightful listening from you throughout this, because it's really interesting for me when you're watching it from a no emotional, just strategy point of view, and I've been
Hmm.
looking at it from where I was and my emotions and all this stuff, and you realize how basic things like take a bit more time. They say when you're going to play a hand, take your time over decisions, and normally you can see I'm playing quicker than I normally would. There's adrenaline going and all sorts, so it's just a really insightful way of looking back through it and seeing where those mistakes were, and also where the mistakes from others were, and how overly tight we were all playing at certain points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone was playing
fascinating.
crazy tight.
Yeah,
But it's like until you've been there and experienced it, like you're always going to have more emotions on the first experience like this, and hopefully there'll be a bigger plateau for you if you keep playing. But playing for that many binds is definitely rare. But playing for substantial sums of money and big final tables, the more you do it, the more you get experience with it, the more you do just feel calm. Like I'm just doing what I think is the right thing to do, and there'll always be a point where you're like, okay, like this is a lot of money, and I need to regulate myself a little bit or like calm down. But I think like even you'd agree, right? There's hands that you see them and are like, oh, why did I do that? And that every time someone
yeah,
plays poker, that happens because you can't. There's like the performance aspect of it is a lot harder to analyze, other than try and sleep well, eat healthy, and have these little practices in place to calm yourself down. Or sometimes
yeah,
like sometimes people maybe get too scared and reserved, and sometimes they need ways to feel more brave or fearless or like come out of their shell more because like
yeah,
you play too tight, like you get more ladders, but you just don't win as often, and all the money's in the top three in a lot of these things. So you need to be
yeah,
willing to jam on the chip leader, be willing to die sometimes. Like there was a few spots like that, like the ace eight. If he just jammed in the small blind, the whole tournament's different. But he raised folded to ace seven.
yeah. Crazy. Yeah, it's amazing watching it through and seeing what could have been. As I say, I look at my Jack forehand, and he's got to be ripping the king eight on the button there, and the whole thing plays out differently. So you just got
Yeah,
to be really thankful as well. Sometimes you go on these runs and you know you can hyperanalyze these spots, but then there's spots you know played really well earlier in a tournament, and it's a it's such a grind. It's just such a privilege to be part of it, and it just makes me want to improve, and all your content has been so helpful. I mean, throughout the series, I was up there, I was looking at your videos, and you were doing like Q&As. You're looking at like there was a great one about being card dead that you put out
mm.
during the Goliath, and actually watching that during the Goliath, and then being card dead with the final two tables. You're looking at that, and you listening to that, and I'm going, yeah, I remember what Brandon said there, and stuff like that is just so helpful, mate, to us players that are beginning or trying to improve their game. So no, this has been amazing. But thank you for obviously all the content you've been putting out regularly for the last year as well, because it is just so amazing for us players.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Thank you. Nice to see that. It's I mean, I guess in some ways it hurts my EV, but
Yeah,
but that's not what it's about. And I feel like it helps me strive to get better too. Like if everyone
yeah,
else gets better, I need to get better too. Like I don't want to ever kind of sit back, always trying to learn. Always more you can improve on.
absolutely. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate. You've given up. What are we at now? Like 4.5 hours of your time to go through. It's been brilliant. I can then watch this back in the future and show other people this. This is just great, mate. So
It's all right. It's been
thank you
really
so much.
insightful for
And
me as well. I've had a lot of fun. All right,
yeah, it's been great. And
I'm gonna end the stream here, but we'll still be in call once I've ended it. But appreciate everyone that's here or watching it. I don't know how many people stayed along, or I guess anyone can go and watch this back what they want. But thanks to Johnny for you know letting us letting us analyze him and go through such a such a sick run and talk through all the decisions. It's been really useful, and I think everyone is hoping they'll be in that spot one day so they can you know make mistakes even like just to be there to go through it. So congrats again, and I'm gonna end the stream now.
Thank you, mate.